Good morning and welcome to Sewing Street. I have got so many exciting things for you today. You know I get very excited, but look! Da, 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 da. Sorry, I'm just going to leave that there and just go, Aurifil. So, welcome. You are our early birds, so you are very lucky. You get to have our early bird special. And it is a special of note today. I can't even count everything that's in here. So all of us have got our wonderful little box of bits that we keep. Some of us are new to quilting and sewing and we don't have our little box to keep. So this is what you're going to want to get. It is an absolutely, if I can get it in shot, there we go. It is absolutely filled to the brim of everything you could possibly want for any form of home sewing. It is absolutely beautiful. Let me open this up so I can show you what you get in here. Now, I'm going to say from the front, I do not know what all of it is. There's a list over here. I will try and marry them up, but I know the stuff I know I can easily tell you, and the stuff I don't know, I'm not going to try and get it wrong. There we go. I'm not going to get it wrong by telling you the wrong thing, hopefully. So it comes in two different layers. So you've got a nice little box here. You've got one of these. I'm assuming this is elastic or a twine of some kind. Oh, I know what this is. This is the nylon filament. I was trying to, I think it is. There's so much in here, I'm not sure what they are, but they come on such a wonderful little display. Really, really good there. And you're getting these thicker cord, this thicker cord here, and it's quite elasticy as well. So I'm assuming those are for, correct me if I'm wrong, probably for lingerie and for things we should need smaller amounts of elastic. And then you've got your wonderful pin set over here. Nice way of keeping your pins, but what I love about it is not only have you got the little pin cushiony bit at the top, but it's not full, so when you use your own pins you can add them to that box. And then you've got these wonderful little bits as well, but you've got a needle threader. Oh, you've got a needle threader, you've got hand needles. You've got another funny little thingy here, and forgive me, I don't know what it is, but I'm thinking it's one of those pointy things to get when I was doing my Dresden points yesterday. That is what I think that would be. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I've got it wrong, that's what I would use it for. But I think there are always suggestions of how to do it. Velcro, can't go wrong with a bit of Velcro. You've got both sides of the Velcro there. They literally have thought of absolutely everything. And by that I mean, you've also got, I've got a pair of scissors. Nice, good pair of scissors. And for me, scissors are really hard to get where I can get my thumb through quite comfortably, and that's quite good. But also, when you're trying to get bits out of it, it's perfect to lift them out because with my fat fingers, I can't get them all in here. You've got a series of G needles, always need a bit of them. And if that's not enough, you've also got your universal needles here as well. Now, as far as I know, these are all available to be completely universal for all machines. You've got the wonderful thimble as always. You've got this funny claspy thing. I can't even pretend to know what that is, but I'm assuming, well, actually I could, you know when you get a little bit rounder during the Christmas season, I would attach that to one part of my jeans and that to the button. That's what I'm gonna go. Oh, maybe it is. It's for when you hold your patterns and things, you clever girl. Sorry, I've got a lovely lady in my ear telling me how to do it. That's great. Yes, you would attach your patterns to the bottom there. I don't have a piece of paper nearby. And you would then hang them up so your patterns are there. That's very clever. A whole assortment of safety pins there. Really good. I haven't even finished on the bottom row. I haven't started the top yet. And then you've got all these wonderful things of yarn. Got a beautiful soft feel to it. It's got that sort of merino feel to it. It's really lovely there. And then you've got a pencil, nice little marking pencil, but you've also got the little brush to brush it away when you're finished with it. So that's the top, the bottom layer there. Isn't that amazing? I haven't even got to the top yet. Of course, you've got a trusty tape measure. You've got all these, you've got this, oh, I'm going to use my little pair of scissors because my fingers are too big. Oops. I'm doing really well at this morning. Sorry about that. And then you've got your unpicker as well, Jack the Ripper. And what is so important these days is elastic, because you can then be making bits and bobs with your elastic. You've got two different sizes there as well. Got a lot on there. And then this, I think, is your... Oh, hang on. How did I do this before? I got this out earlier. There we go. So this is your invisible thread, but you've also got a black one. Now, forgive me, I may be completely wrong. Oh, come on. But I think This is the nylon filament thread for in the clear and the black. So if you want it to disappear on your darker fabrics, you use the black, and if you want it to disappear on your lighter fabrics, you use the light. And then you've got a whole load of different bobbins, all wound up with the different colours of the. They're all colour matched, so you can have top and bottom. Or if you want to do a bit of contrast, you could then pop those on there. And you've got all those amazing things on here. Did we say there were 167 pieces in here? Is that right? How many pieces? 167 pieces in this. But look at this. You've got everything you could possibly want. So when you're wanting to go back to your sewing classes, it's all in this wonderful box. And it's really great because you can see the lid doesn't come off very easily. You do have to put your finger in to get it right. And of course, I'm now doing it backwards and upside down. There we go. You just press it in gently there so it holds nice and firm. It'll ease, you can see I'm lifting it just by the lid there. Holds perfectly. And look at that. $16.99 for 160 pieces there, 167 pieces, so that's a little over a penny a piece. How can you go wrong with that? What a great gift as well. And you know, with these lockdown periods, all of us are trying new little crafts and things. This is a really nice little starter pack for somebody who wants to try sewing, hasn't done it yet, and it's just a nice little gift to be able to do. Imagine getting that in your post. It's not really a cheap hobby a lot of the time, but what great value you're getting with this, with all the threads, everything you could possibly want to start the product, to be able to start your process on it. Such a great, great deal. And you're saving £3 today on our early bird special. Really, really great deal that. And don't forget, we've got our one-day P&P, $3.95 for the whole day. So whether you order one piece or 20 pieces or one of the gorgeous sewing machines, I'm going to be showing you the best one later. And all of them, $3.95 through the whole day. You're not going to pay for any more. So if you click out on this now and you pay your P&P now, you've paid for the day. Everything else is free postage and packaging because you've paid for your P&P and your early bird. Really, really fabulous deal. And it's one of the perks of being able to join us for an early bird. These are available for 24 hours or while stocks last. Really lovely product that. Now, if you haven't gotten in touch with us before, get in touch. We love hearing from you. We've now got a studio email address. The email address for that is studio@sewingstreet.com. So you can just type a normal email as usual. Today we've got Laura and we've got Kat watching the emails. So if you want to drop them a line to just say hello, please by all means do. Any questions about any of the products, anything you want to see together, mix and match the colours, drop us a message. We can easily do that for you because we're your little virtual shop today, aren't we? Other ways to get in touch as well are our social media. We've got @SewingStreetTV, which is our channel-run Facebook page. You can also drop us a message on there as well. If you're on Instagram, it's @SewingStreet. And if you want to find us on YouTube, which I think is one of the best resources ever because it's got every single broadcast going back to Valentine's Day, every show we've done, every demonstration, every one of the amazing machine demos Debbie's done, the fabulous demos Vicky's done, the block of the weeks that I've done, all 39 of my previous shows. Today's my 40th show. Who would have thought I'd lasted this long? I'm so pleased. And you've all been very kind. All of those shows, all those demos are all available on our YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch them whenever you want to. And when you're shopping with us, there are two ways to do that today. You can go onto www.sewingstreet.com. If you don't want to use the online process, that's absolutely fine. We've got our fabulous UK-based call centre, 0800 001 4433. If you give them a ring, they'll be able to answer all of your questions that you have, and they're really lovely. And they actually, that was how I ordered my sewing machine last week. 2 weeks ago. How long ago? It was 2 weeks ago. I had it for my birthday. It arrived the day before my birthday. And I've still not opened it because it's amazing and I want to do a whole big video and reveal it. So yes, really, really nice way of doing that. So those are the two ways to shop with us today. And we've got some amazing products. I'm just going to stroke my Aurifil again. Can I go to Aurifil now? Where's my open box? Where's my open box? It's this one here. Now, Aurifil. We have had Aurifil on about a week and a half ago. We had Aurifil on for the first time. And Aurifil is one of the most fantastic brands of thread. It's 100% premium cotton. And the great thing with that is whether you're doing it for hand piecing or with your machine, there's no lint. So I use a much cheaper, much more linty thread. And it means that I'm spending a good, well, I'm cleaning my machine every 6 to 7 hours because it is bunged up with lint all the time. And the Aurifil Aurifil does not have that issue, so you'll be cleaning your machine a lot less because you haven't got all that lint in there as well. But not only is the quality fabulous and the non-lintiness of it there, you've also got these phenomenal colours. And I'm just absolutely, they are so luscious. They're absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to read them through. They're not in the same order in the boxes on the back of the page, but I'm going to read them to you anyway. You've got light beige, you've got turquoise, you've got violet, you've got light blue violet. Oh my gosh, that might be my favourite. The green fuchsia, dark carmine red. See, I'm getting to the point I might need glasses there. Dark carmine red, midnight, mist, and black. Now, these colours are absolutely stunning. I'm going to take them out and have a look there. So that's our light beige. This is our turquoise. I think I've got that in the wrong place for the shot. That should do it there. There's our turquoise. And then we've got our violet. You see, I'm trying to take them out of the box in the right order. We've got our violet. And then we've got our light violet blue. Just look at that colourway. Oh, it's just gorgeous. And what I love about it is look how they shine. You've got that beautiful, beautiful shine on them as well. And the great thing with this Aurifil is you can do this just for your normal piecing. This is your green, this one's your fuchsia, this is the dark carmine red. You can use these just for your piecing, or if like me you like to do a bit of quilting with your product, with your threads, these are perfect for your dense quilting. They are absolutely perfect, and you can see all the sheen on these colours. Look at the sheen on that one. It's absolutely stunning. Just look at those colours and the brightness of them, and that shine pops through beautifully when you're actually working with the product as well. I think I've got these upside down, so I'm going to turn them the right way around. I only know that because there's a little white sticker on the top. Now, we all know that we've got these. Now, these as well are exclusive, yes, exclusive to Sewing Street. Can't get them anywhere else. And look, we've even got our name on it there, see? Sewing Street. This is our first collaboration with Aurifil with our names on it, and that's available 10 spools for $33.99. They're 50 weight thread, which is the standard piecing weight, and good for quilting as well. Really good for embroidery as well. And just look at the shine on those as well. 200 meters on every single spool, so that's 2,000 meters of thread all the way there. That's a huge amount of thread. And it's just the most fabulous quality. Made in Italy, all in Milan. Absolutely stunning, stunning products. As you really will love them. Just look at those colours. And you've got the nice little display box as well. So if you wanted to put them back in the box as well, which I'm now going to do, try and get them back in the order they came out of. And I'm going to have to be clever here because when I get to the corners, I have to put them in that way. Oh, I'm getting better at this. There's the dark carmine, there's the midnight, and there's the grey. But just look at these. These are such a great range of colours because whatever you're going to be doing, whatever you're going to be making, these are just the most perfect combination of colours to be able to use for all of your piecing. Thank you. There we go, $33.99 for those 10 spools, 200 meters of each spool, 50 weight, and just 100%, 100% cotton. But they come in this wonderful little box, and isn't it just, it's a bit of a plain box, and you're like, oh, okay. But then when you open it, look at that burst of colour. Isn't that gorgeous? And look at that shine. It's just gorgeous. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. Exclusive to Sewing Street today, and you can tell by the number on the set, we love this. And look, it's got our wonderful little combination there. We've gone a bit mad. I love it. I was trying to move them around just now, and it was a bit like dominoes, and they all went bloop, 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 bloop. Now, if you have got one of these in your baskets, please make sure you do check out. Main reason being is the last time we had Aurifil on, it sold so well, and I really don't want people to be missing out on those. So do make sure you check your basket out as you're going along, because we don't want you to miss out on all of these. So really, really great products. Look at all of that. We've only done 2 products, and how exciting are they? Absolutely stunning. We're going to do some wonderful, exciting fabrics now. We're going to do some brand new fabrics. Now, if I'm not mistaken, as we all watch the Sewing Bee this week, isn't it International Week this week? So we've got some international fabrics for you here. 100% cotton, absolutely lovely. Oh, these is a bundle. I forgot to ask you earlier. Individual. Well, I'll show them all to you together. Look at these, because look at how beautifully well they go together there. Aren't they gorgeous? All 100% cotton poplin there. Really, really lovely. Let me show you each one in turn. So this one's called Gold Parasols on black, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely wonderful, that. And of course I've got it in the completely the wrong place. Look at that. The detailing on it is so beautiful as well. So this Gold Parasols on black cotton poplin fabric is 1/2 metre for $4.99. Such a great price as well. And don't forget you've got that 1-day P&P, so once you've paid your $3.95 for the day, rest of your postage and packaging on everything else you buy is free for the day. Imagine that as a nice little shirt. I'm actually thinking, do you know, imagine that as a skirt with just a beautiful white plain top. That would be absolutely beautiful. All of my friends at the moment, my lovely ladies that I quilt with, all of them are making lovely clothing bits at the moment. My dear friend Jo Collins is busy starting to make her own T-shirts and things, and they're amazing. Did you really? Oh gosh, I'm just hearing as well, Laura was making her own T-shirts too. It's definitely great that we've had this time that we can actually go around and do that. I think it's wonderful. So that's the black gold parasols. But if you don't want the black, don't worry, we've got you covered, because we've got a few in red as well. And this is a really luscious red too. Look at this. And the gold just pops so perfectly on this. Oops, I knew it was going to happen. I've knocked over an Aurifil already. As long as it's only the one. So this is the gold parasols on red cotton poplin fabric there. But you can see the parasols are a bit more subtle there. Not quite as pronounced on it, which is just lovely. But the red is an absolutely beautiful shade of red, this. I absolutely love this colour. Really, really good. But not even for clothing. Can you imagine this is a nice little garden cushion as well? That would be beautiful. I'm actually thinking as well, you know, linings of bags. People are always looking for really good linings of bags. That is a stunning fabric for that. If you're putting a nice plain red with it, can I reach over and grab the next bundle? I'm going to do it anyway. The complimentary bundle, I'm going to grab this now. This is coming up soon, but you know how I love to upsell a different... Oh, nope, that's not going to work. Look at that. You can imagine having those on the outside with this as the fabric on the inside. That is beautiful. So that's the red fabric with the gold parasols. But if you don't want black and red, don't worry, we got you. We've got you in ivory as well. I have to say, I'm not quite sure which one I like the most, because this ivory is pretty special. Look at that. But I have to say, I think I don't use bags very often, but when I do, I can never find anything. So I do think as a lining of a bag, that would be stunning. Can you imagine your gold hardware with it? That would be stunning. But the flowers are more pronounced on this as well. They really are lovely there. They're really, really good. You didn't really notice them as much in the red and the black, but these are beautiful. This is the gold parasols on ivory cotton poplin fabric. 1/2 metre there for $4.99. These are brand new today. And what a week to have them. And I have to confess, please don't tell me who went out of the Sewing Bee. I haven't watched last week's episode yet. Don't tell me. So I've got that to watch tonight. Looking forward to that. But now we've also got this. This is the ivory gold dragons. I think I've got the dragons upside down. I do. Look at that. The gold dragons on ivory. Oh my goodness, look at that. Gold dragon on ivory cotton poplin fabric. 1/2 metre there for $4.99. Look at that. Really very special, that. Brand new to Sewing Street today. Because you could multi-buy these and you could get one colour. Because if you've got a bit of each colour, you could colour match them and do different things with the different projects. I think that's a really nice way of being able to use these fabrics. They're really interesting, these. I think we're very lucky being able to get all these wonderful fabrics in. It's great. Brand new fabrics in today. And then we've got our gold dragons on red. And it's again that beautiful red fabric colour. It's absolutely stunning, that. Oh, look how rich that looks. Absolutely stunning. Really. Oh, can you imagine that as a tablecloth? That's a good idea. With your gold plates and all those little trims on the edges there. Look at that. That's definitely a party I want to go to when we're allowed to. Now, these are not available as a bundle. These are all available by the half metre. If you haven't bought half metres with us before, if, say, for example, you wanted 1.5 metres of this, you would buy 3 units and it would come to you cut as a single 1.5 metre piece, not as 3 half metres. Oh! Well, somebody liked the Ivory Dragons. We just sold 2.5 metres of them in one order. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you like them. Now, we've also got a complimentary bundle of plain fabrics to go with those. So I think what might work well is if I show you the original. This is not the bundle. I want to be very clear. This is not the bundle. This is the bundle. These are individual, but look how well they all go together. And you can see how well they go. I'm just going to slide those up and down so you can see really, really lovely combination of colours there. So you're going to get your black and your ivory, which is quite normal for these, but there's gorgeous crimson here. Let me show you the crimson first, because this is really lovely. It's a bit more maroon than the red, but it complements each other really well. Look at that. Really, really lovely, those. So this is the Dragon Complementary Fabric Bundle. You're getting 1/2 metre of all 3 of these colourways. This is the crimson, and then you're getting the ivory and you're getting the black as well. Really stunning, stunning combination of colours here. That's the crimson. And then we're getting the ivory as well. And of course, the ivory is such a staple colour, even if you're not getting it for the to use with those fabrics there. It's just such a nice to have. Now, if you are going to buy multiple units of these, don't forget these are pre-cut as a 1/2 metre piece. So if you did buy 2 bundles, they would come to you as 2 1/2 metre pieces already cut. You won't get these as 1 metre pieces if you buy these as 2 of these. And that is the wonderful bundle there. Isn't it just the most gorgeous collection of colours there? There we go. I'm getting better at this positioning thing. 1/2 metre of each there. And if you don't want to use them for those fabrics, they're just such a nice to have, and they would really work very well in your stash. Am I doing the panel? Not doing the panel? Perfect. That's all right. Because it's in the end of my row, so I was like, oh, I'm going to carry on straight down the row. I probably went completely out of order there. We have Moda Batiks. So on my birthday on the 29th of May, we had my favourites show, and what happened to be in my favourites show was this wonderful collection of Moda Batiks. I am only moving over here because I have found a good way of displaying 12 pieces of fabric in one go. I use one of my Creative Grid rulers because I can't manoeuvre that many fabrics with my hands. I've tried on numerous occasions and it never works. So I space these out for you, because we wanted to do this as a fabulous bundle for you, and it has sold so well. Look at that combination there. It is absolutely gorgeous. Really, really lovely. So you can see you're going through all these different colorways. Absolutely stunning. And just to be clear, the ruler is not included, unfortunately. It's just to be able to show this a bit better for me. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Look at that. And all these different colours that you're getting as well. Really, really lovely. You're getting 1/2 metre of each of these, so it's going to get 12 1/2 metre pieces. That's going to give you 6 metres of fabric. Now these three here are only available in the bundle. Can't get those in the as half-metre pieces, unfortunately, because they've sold out. We've done so well on these fabrics. So everything else from here to here is available in the bundle, is available by the half-metre, and I'm going to show you each one as we go now. Just going to move my Aurifil over here. So let's start with the very top one here, which is our wonderful pink. I'm going to show you the size you're going to get on this pink one, and then I'm not going to open each and every one of them, just because I don't want to have to fold them all, and I'm being very lazy, sorry. But look at that, that is a half-metre of fabric, so that's what the half-metre of fabric looks like. So that's what you're getting of each piece, and then we'll just be able to show you each and every colourway of each of these. Oh. We've got a brand new aircon in the studio. It's wonderful, but it's really blowy. So we've got to get these in just the right place now. So now these are available by the half-metre. This is the Moda Maui pink batik fabric. Half-metre of this is $8.99. But now what's great about batiks is you can see that side. But if I fold over the back side, you can see there is no front or back. They are exactly the same on both sides. That's the beauty of the batik process. All of these are made by hand. I'd like to say that they're made in Hawaii, in Maui, but I don't think they were. But you can just tell the quality of these fabrics. It feels incredible, and because it's versatile, being able to use both sides, it's not a problem with whichever side. It's one of those things, you know, when you're using a solid, you can do both sides, but when you're using a printed fabric, obviously you've got a right side and a wrong side. With these batiks, you don't have a right and wrong side, because both sides is the right side. The next one we've got is this gorgeous, is this one the one called Sunshine? Sunshine! So this is the Moda Maui Sunshine batik fabric, half a metre again, $8.99. Get that out of the way. Look at that. But it does look like fingerprints, doesn't it? It's just such a beautiful, beautiful colourway, this. Because if you look at the back here, it does look as though it's got a little bit of a distressed look in it. But the way they make the batiks, what they do is that they've got water running over the dyes. So you'll see that the dye's a bit stronger there than it is here. So it's got that mottled effect that gives the fabric that movement. It's just beautifully, beautifully done. Now this one I think is my favourite of the two, of all of them, the batiks. Look at that. So this is called the Sea Glass batik fabric. Absolutely adore this. It's just so unusual. And every single piece of batik is completely and utterly different. You're not going to get the same piece all the way through. So if you order 2 of these in half meters, then you get totally different looks on them as well. The lines won't be the same in either of them because they're all so different and they're all done by hand. So they're all so different. That's what I love about batiks, and I've got a massive, massive box of batiks in my studio, and it's one of those ones that my friends look at and go, that's mine. I'm like, no, it's not. But Moda Batiks, Moda's got such a great brand and such a great quality that when they do a batik like this, you know it's going to be spectacular. This one is just beautiful. Look at this. So this one's called the Moda Maui Batik Multi-Spiral Batik Fabric. Gosh, say that 3 times quickly. That's also $8.99 for a half metre on these. It's such a lovely, lovely fabric. It really, really is good. And it's such a nice blend of different colours. And what's great is it makes these so universal to use with the rest of the range. And that's what I love, is because you've got that pop of green, and you've got green in the other fabrics, and you've got that beautiful pop of teal and turquoise, which works so well with the sea glass and then with the fabrics that are coming up. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful technique to be able to tie all these fabrics together. It's beautiful. And don't ask me to say that name again, because I'm always worried I'm going to trip over myself when I'm saying these. But now, this one, it looks very, very similar, but it's totally different. Because look at the different colours on it. Isn't that just gorgeous? I absolutely adore these. Now, this one's the Moda Maui Multi-Spirals Batik. Look at that. Doesn't that just scream happiness to you? These are also available by the half metre, $8.99. And I'm sorry, but I'm just going to pop that on there. Just look how beautifully those all go together. They really, really work very, very well together. But can you imagine this is a nice scarf for an event as well, and you don't need a huge amount of fabric for this. 1/2 meter would make the most gorgeous scarf if you just beautifully satin stitch or overlock all the way around the edges. That would be a really beautiful wrap. Gorgeous little piece of fabric that. Which way am I folding it there? And there we go. Next we've got this beautiful, is this turquoise? Gorgeous, look at that. That really is like a little ocean there. Absolutely lovely. It does remind you of Maui, doesn't it? It's great. Can't wait until we all can travel again. That'll be lovely. Just got this image of us all getting on the same plane and going far away to sit in the sun for a bit. But the weather here has been incredible of late, so that's great. Not so good today. Try not to look out the window if you haven't yet. Now this one is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. What? Did you say this was sold out? Oh, gosh, sorry. That's when I mishear something on the talkback. I'm like, what? It's sold out? I haven't even shown it. It hasn't sold out. She said it was so nice and I misheard. This is limited though. Oh, but wow. Okay, so we are limited on this. We've only got 5 meters of this left, so 10 units of it. But you can see why. This Moda Maui Ocean Batik fabric is absolutely gorgeous. And you can see it's just gorgeous. And the great thing is, oh gosh, it blends beautifully with my shirt. So it just goes so well with anything. Such a great price, and it's such great quality as well. Loving that. Well, so are you. Midnight? Night Sky, that's what it's called. Look at that. In the night sky there, look at that. I'm going to open this one up a bit more. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? You can just, it feels like they're little galaxies of stars there. They're really good. And the great thing about this is that every piece of fabric is different. So where they've squished the fabric up to dye it, you can see that it moves along all the way along. Okay, it's absolutely stunning. But you can imagine, now I know it's not the cheapest way of doing the backing of a quilt, but can you imagine that as a back? That would be extravagant, luxury on every level. And that feel, oh, it's beautiful. Now this is the last one that's available by the 1/2 meter, but look at that. Oh, it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is just gorgeous. So this is the Maui multi-dot batik fabric, 1/2 meter there for $8.99. Really, really beautiful. Can you imagine that over an autumn forest there? Beautiful. Sun setting through the trees. We actually have a bluebell field near where we live, and when the sun sets through the trees, that is the actual colour of the sun going through it. It's beautiful. And then I'll show you the other 3 fabrics that you're getting. So those are the ones that are available by the 1/2 meter. So the last 3 I'm about to show you, and I'm just putting these on the ruler. Not show these out. So now we have got this as your bundle. That's what's left as your bundle there. So these 3 we know are not available. These are only available in the bundle. And then you can just see all these beautiful colours. These are the ones that I've shown you from there down. I've shown you those already. And then in these 3 beautiful ones as well. So that's what makes up your 12 units, 6 meters, 1/2 meter of each one, making 6 meters. That's £106.99 for this mega bundle, and it is absolutely beautiful. Really, really great fabric, that. Yay! So I'm very excited about this because I've not had this on before, but what I love is we've got this Colour Me In rainbow panel. Now, a lot of you have already bought this, and have we got a picture of somebody who's coloured in already? Where am I going? So somebody has won our Make of the Week this week. Was it Danielle? Look at that. You've used this panel on the back of your jacket there, and you've coloured it in. And I hadn't married the 2 together, but you can see there just how beautifully she's coloured this in. And this is the panel bit that she's used. Let me just double check where we are. So this is the first panel that she's used, that she's coloured in. I'm assuming, was that fabric pen, I'm wondering? Oh, we've got some we had fabric pens with it, so the fabric pens unfortunately have sold out. We're doing our best to get them back in stock ASAP. But this was the piece that she'd used. It's absolutely lovely. And it just gives you all that beautiful movement within it. Can you believe that is what Danielle's fabric finished product looked like? Absolutely stunning. And the great, you've got kids involved as well, because it also encourages them to get involved in crafting as well. And that's our second section of the panel. But then, if you want a little bit of absolute glorious wonderfulness, look at that. But I'm going to do something very naughty now, so forgive me while I take 2 seconds just to do this, because I am looking at this Aurifil box that we've got exclusive to us today. Can you imagine colouring in your little stars or your backgrounds with all of those? Or you're having a little bit of a purple rain. You can have some purple rain there with the dots. And then you can have the sun in the bright, beautiful pink, or in this gorgeous crimson. Can you imagine being able to then embroider all of these different colours onto this gorgeous panel? It's just such a beautiful, beautiful way to use your threads. Sorry, I'm probably not allowed to do that, but I'm going to. You know me, I love being able to put it all together in one go. I absolutely love these panels. I think they're really, really lovely. So these panels, what? $6.99? Gosh, that's such a great price. You're getting all 3 of those for $6.99. So what's that? That's £2.33 a panel. That's a really good price on that. Really lovely panel that as well. And those are available to you today. Don't forget, you've got 1-day P&P, $3.95 throughout the day. Doesn't matter whether you buy 1 panel or a giant sewing machine, same price. Or if you buy both, same price P&P today. Oh, I thought you'd never ask. We're bringing it up. I'm sorry. I was said, shall we do some barley pops? That's why I got a little bit excited. So, many of you have seen barley pops before, so I'm going to show you. Shall I show samples first? Or shall I show you the product? Let me show you the product first. That makes more sense. We'll start with the autumn, because that's the one over here. Look at that. The colours on this. Now, I'm probably in the wrong place now. Tell me when I'm right. Am I right there? There we go. So these barley pops. Now, many of you who've bought barley pops in the past know that that is a phenomenal price. I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to keep it at that price, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take to get new barley pops in once we sell out of these. So this autumn bundle here that we've got, look at that beautiful vibrancy of colours. If I'm not mistaken, I've got some open here as well, which I'll show you. Let me grab that. Where have I put my autumn ones? Oh, there they are. They're hidden at the back. Don't fall over. Please don't knock over the Aurifil. Sorry. So this is the colourways, and this is what they look like on it as well. So this is the autumn. You're not going to get yours in the plastic bag. It's only because someone has been using bits of these for different projects throughout the way. So we've had to put them in a bag to be able to keep them going. But you can see the vibrancy on these colours. They are absolutely gorgeous, but you've got that beautiful dot, and you see what I mean about the green there and the green on this one. They tie it in so perfectly, and then you've got this beautiful, beautiful brown, and you can see that dot is the same color as that dot, so it just ties all of these fabrics in so perfectly. All of these strips are 2.5 inches by, but look at that one. Oh my goodness. So you've got these all 2.5 inches by 40 inches. You're getting 40 barley pops in each bundle. But look at all the different colours you're getting it as well. They're really beautiful. And these would probably work really well with the Moda Batiks as well. Yep. We've got this wonderful new aircon and it's blowing right on me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, can that stop, please? So we've got this beautiful white one as well, and this gorgeous mustardy colours. Oh, they're just beautiful, and they go on and on and on. It's a wonderful combination of colours. So all completely individual, these wonderful hand-dyed batiks, really, really good. So that was our autumn combination there. And I'm popping those over here. That's the autumn one there. So that's the first one that we've got as our barley pops there. The next one we're going to do is the pastel one, I think it's called. This is pastel? Pastel. While I'm showing you that, I'm going to look for the pastel one there. That looks like the pastel bag. So I'm going to forgive my movement of emptying fabric behind the shot there. There we go. This is what happens when you don't take the time to get the sorter before the show. Sorry about that. So this is the beautiful, beautiful there. Look at that. That is absolutely such a gorgeous colourway there. So these are all batiks made in Bali. So with the batiks, you've got them exactly the same on the front and the back. So you can see you've got that same fabric there. And on the front, you can just see there how beautiful they are. So I'm going to lay these out a bit more orderly for you this time. If I can find the middle, there we go. So you can tell I've cut into these as I've been going along. So you're going to get different, but what I love about it is it gradiates all the way through these. They are absolutely beautiful. And it just, you can see all the different colours that have gone through these. And even though that's the same orange, they're completely different than the one that's next to it. So some of these you're getting 2 of them. I think most of them you get 2 of them. But even when you're getting 2 of them, look how different they are. So you are, in my opinion, getting 40 individual pieces, all totally unique. Because even when you've got this light peach there, you then put the next light peach next to it, and you can see now lying next to each other, the dots are totally different there than they are there. So I always look at these as being 40 individual different pieces of fabric, all completely unique, and you're not getting the same piece each time. So these are all the bits that I have used, and we've all made samples out of them as we go. Yep. So you can see, I'll just finish laying some of these out for you, but look at that blue. But what I love is you've got that blue there, but then when you look at that, you've got that beautiful pink and the green through a different blue that just helps tie this collection absolutely beautifully together. And then you can see you've got this gorgeous green here as well. You're getting 2 of those pieces. And then you're getting that lovely pink again. But then you go to a beautiful pop of yellow, and again, look how the teal ties it in, and then you've got the pink tied in there, and the yellow right next to it. So it's just that beautiful, beautiful design on how they make these, being able to do it. And then you've got a white one with the cream, with the green and the blue, and it just pops in so beautifully together. And you can just see it just goes on and on, this gorgeous collection of colours. Yep. Yep. Look at that yellow. Look at that as well. That colourway there is absolutely beautiful. Really beautiful, that. And then you've got this colour combination there as well. And you can just see all of these Bali pops. They've got this really beautifully thought out colour combinations. And they just work so, so well. Oh, look at that one. Oh, it's just beautiful. So that is the colourways of what you're going to get. I haven't managed to get every single one of them to show you, but you can get the idea of how beautiful. Look at that one. See, this is the thing. I get so distracted by them all, and I absolutely love them. So what we've got there, that is the pastel colourway. So I'm going to try and fold those all together and put them back in the bag. It'd be nice that way. But now I'm able to... I'll be able to show you some samples that we've made out of the pastel colourway. This is a beautiful cushion that's been made. Now, I did not make the cushion. Was it Wendy Orlando made them? Aren't they gorgeous? Really beautiful. So that was the pastel colourway. Really, really lovely, that. And then we've got this beautiful colourway as well. But they're all the pastel range. Now, if we look at that as a whole, look how beautiful that is, but you wouldn't have expected, just by adding that red velvet, red corduroy around the edge, that those all came from there. And you can see now that design is so beautiful and relatively simple to do. Can you imagine a whole quilt out of that? She's got so much left over of these as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of the leftover bits are in that bag. But look at this one as well. All you're doing is using a 2.5-inch square to make these and to make those. I'm not sure how big the triangles would be, etc. But they're just gorgeous. Really, really lovely combination of colours there. And it just goes to show you how effortlessly those Bali Pop pastels go together. They are just lovely. Really, really lovely combination here. I'm running out of space here. I've got 2 last little ones here, so we've got another pillow there, but we've also got this beautiful bag. as well, which is lovely as well. Also made out of the pastel colourway there. Really, really lovely that. So which one do you want next? Rainbow or blue? Blue. Let's do blue. So I've also got, now, I know I put all the samples on the floor. Don't worry, there's a lovely clean mat down there that was anti-bac before we came on. So it's all safe and sound. So we've now got our lovely blue colourway here. I'm going to move those two over. Look how beautiful these are. Now, I have bought 3 of these because I think they're so beautiful. They are just gorgeous, absolutely stunning. We've got the pitter-patter of our lovely cat coming to get the camera right. Thank you, cat. And I won't deny I've got Laura in my ear going, under the sea, singing The Little Mermaid all the way along. So that's now in my head for the rest of the weekend. Thanks for that, Laura. I'm hoping the viewers at home will think as well. But this is the most beautiful, beautiful combination of colours. And I've bought 3 of them myself because I am in love with them. Absolutely. 2 of them. 2 of them or 3 of them. Can't remember. Absolutely love them. So I'm going to show you these colourways. Oh, I don't know where to start. So let's start with this gorgeous deep green. Absolutely lovely. But then you can imagine that being the night sky. It's absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely stunning, these. So you can see. But the great thing is they're not just blues and greens. You've got this gorgeous pop of teal, this beautiful purple. Now those are meant to be 2 identical ones, but you can see as you look at them, they're not. They're totally, totally different. And that's that gorgeous technique that they use with making the batiks, that they then run the water through it, and it then isn't the same all the way through. And you can see we've been using bits and bobs of these as we go, because we are loving these blues. They're absolutely stunning. Again, those 2 are meant to be the same, but you can see they're totally different. So that's when I say you get 40 unique pieces. You genuinely are, because each piece is so different to the piece that's next to it. And again, we've got a beautiful colour combination here as well. And again, these 2 are meant to be identical, but look so different. Oh. And the great thing about these is if you wanted to make a nice big quilt, you could easily be able to buy the pastel one and the blue one, and they'll go so beautifully together, and it just gives you the way that you use them. It'll just be able to show that individuality that you can do with them by buying 2 of them, and it makes a really big quilt. Once I finish showing you the rainbow one, I'll be able to show you a top that I made recently using these, and it didn't use that much background fabric with it. It was absolutely lovely. And now that I'm all tangled in a lump here, there we go. But this one, look at this. This one, I think, it just makes you think of a beautiful night sky, that. Absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, we do get those nights where there's a little bit of purple in them as well. Look at that. But it just goes so beautifully together. It's absolutely stunning. One of my ladies did our design roll race a couple of weeks ago using this exact jelly roll, and it was absolutely stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. And then last but not least, we've got our rainbow colourway for these. Absolutely loving those. Maybe I should show this in the quilt. That might be an easier way of showing it, because this is now the rainbow colourway there that we've got. This is the last 4 of the 4 that we've got in the collection. This is also $39.99. You're getting 42.5-inch pieces by 42. We say 42, it is 45, but once you've cut the selvages off, we call it 42. So you're getting a huge amount of fabric of this. And now I'll show you a quilt that I've made for a show a couple of weeks ago. Have you not seen this one? Oh, I'm quite proud of this, I won't deny. So just to give you an idea, now I'm probably going to ruin the set doing this, so apologies if I knock over all the Aurifil. We're going to have a domino effect to the Aurifil down here, aren't we? There we go. So you can now see, so I can't go further over. Oh, there we go. But you can see how these all work so beautifully together. This quilt is 60 inches by 60 inches. I still have a huge amount, not a huge amount, but it is certainly enough to make 9 or 10 more of these triangles to be able to do it. And you can just see This is just from one pack. And all I did was add, I think it was 2 meters of white. So it was a really nice way of being able to make a quilt that's absolutely effective, absolutely beautiful. And you can just tell all the different colors in this rainbow colorway. They go so beautifully together. Really, really lovely. I can't remember what day my show was for that. But what I'll do is I'll pop it on social media and you can have a little look at what show that was. But you can tell just how beautifully, and I haven't destroyed the set yet, don't worry, there's still time. You can just tell how beautifully these colours go together, and you can just see, once you cut them up into a smaller piece, as a smaller amount, you can tell just how perfectly they go together as well. And what's great is, if I look, because this is where people are always like, oh, how can I use the Aurifil? Tell me that doesn't go with virtually every colour in this combination. So when you're quilting this, I know a lot of us want to do specific quilting. Look how perfectly these go together, and even that, but you can then go and you could match, because most of us have got these empty blocks here. You could then go and you could use all of these gorgeous Aurifil that we've got today, and you could fill every one of these squares with a different Batik. You could absolutely fill every square using one of these colours and create a different motif in each and every one of these. Aurifil is proving to be very, very popular today, as it always does. But many of you don't see a quilt in this, so that's a quarter of the quilt there. And you can just see that that would only be 10 of your strips of your jelly roll. And that on its own is a beautiful quilt on its own. And you do get a lot left over. I can show you from making that quilt, because I always like to know how much is left over afterwards, just to show you how much you get. This is how much I had left over afterwards. And I had all of these left over to do this. And you can see you get a huge amount of fabric there. And I still had these left over as well. So it's a really, really nice way of being able to use your fabric and be able to make sure that you use something that's going to be beautiful. And the fact that somebody's coordinated all these colours so well for you. Isn't that just one of the best things of all of them? So really, really great combination there with the barley pops. Once they're gone at the minute, we're not sure when we can get them back in, and we're unlikely to be able to show you that price again. So we're definitely not going to be able to get them back at that price, I'm hearing. So $39.99 for these barley pops. If you are interested in them, don't hang around. We don't want you to miss out, because you always regret the fabric you leave behind. 2 weeks from now, when we get the new fabrics in at a different price, you're going to be like, oh, I should have listened to John and get them in. So there we go. So we've just had a question if people can I can show all the colours for the Aurifil again. So let me do that for you. They may not be in the exact order they were in the box. Forgive me for that. I'm going to get them over. So if I do them, there we go. I'm trying to work out exactly the best way of doing this. Then I've got that one. I've got that one. Pink. I'm just going according to the little picture on the side over here, because we've got our wonderful little box, our very own collaboration. And now that I've turned that round, I don't know which one's next. So that one. But you know Aurifil, everybody is familiar with the name. You may not know exactly where they're from. They're from Italy and Milan. They've been going for many, many years. They are, without question, the best threads that you can get, which are 100% cotton for quilting, for piecing. You're getting 2,000 meters of thread with this. You're still getting your wonderful little display box that you can store them all in and just ogle over them as you go, as you leave that. If you're not using them, you're getting this wonderful exclusive to Sewing Street combination of colors here. You've got your black, mist, midnight, dark carmine red. You've got your fuchsia, green, light blue violet, turquoise, and your light beige. 200 meters of all of these, and please don't think I memorized that. I'm reading off the back of the box. I shouldn't give away all the secrets, but then somebody will come to me and say, what color is that? I'm like, I have no idea. It's number 2870 if you want to know. But it's a beautiful, beautiful combination of colors, all 100% cotton. You've got a really premium product here, 50 weight, 200 meters on every single one of these spools, 2,000 meters with all these gorgeous colors. And just look at the sheen on them. They're absolutely stunning. Absolutely gorgeous on that. And available for $33.99. Brand new this morning. They've been selling really, really well. So if you have got them in your basket, please make sure you do check out. We don't want you to be losing out on those, because if we do sell out of them, we can't bring them back in. And there we go. We've got our wonderful colorways there. Gonna pop these back. So the next hour, I'm really excited about the next hour. We've got, boom, 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 and I know most of you get very scared about it. We've got foundation paper piecing, which I'm really excited about, which is my design, as well as we've got the Alison Glass Sunprint Chains quilt that I designed as well, for that gorgeous Alison Glass Alison Glass Sunprints. I was thinking it's in the name of the title. So that's all available. And we've got a fabulous bundle of Sunprints fabrics as well, with some coordinating fabric that you're going to love. 2 different colorways available for you for that as well. So that'll be back at 9 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock, we've got my machine, my baby machine. I'm very excited, so I can show you all my wonderful features on my lovely machine. So we're just going to redress the set, and we'll be back in a minute or two. Thank you. Hello and welcome. We love hearing from you, and we really hope that you can follow us on our social media platforms. We've got Instagram, which is at Sewing Street. We have Facebook. We've got 2 Facebook pages. One is the Sewing Street TV page, and the other one is Sewing Street Fans. All 3 of these are monitored all the time by our wonderful team, and if you want to message us on air, drop us a line on either of those 3, and we'll definitely be able to answer your questions that you may have. If you post on the actual wall, we can perhaps answer there. Otherwise, message us as well. That works really, really well. Thank you so much for being involved, and it's only because of this community that we're able to bring you all these different diverse products and to be able to answer your questions that you may have. Another way you can stay in touch with us is by signing up to our newsletter. These newsletters are sent out to you very regularly, and they include not only our guest profiles of upcoming guests, but also amazing shows that we've got coming up for you. And if you want to look at the amazing products before everybody else, that's the best way to do it. If you'd like to sign up and you haven't already, the link to follow is www.sewingstreet.com/sign up. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part, and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer, and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
If you love sewing, then you need the UK's favourite sewing magazine. Every month, you'll receive exclusive patterns. Follow simple step-by-step guides suitable for all skill levels to make your own stunning clothes, accessories and more, together with inspiring tips and tricks from industry experts. Join in and discover your love for sewing. Try Love Sewing today and get your first 3 issues for just £6.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day, and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual. Always keep it to hand, because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick and pick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. Oh, we've got the most fabulous hour. I'm really, really excited. We're doing my foundation paper piecing beginner's quilt. Isn't that just fun? And it's such a good size, so that works really, really well. Where am I going to put this? If I drape it over here. There we go. Don't fall. Well, so that is what we're going to be making, but we're going to be using a totally different bundle. Let me show you what the bundle looks like today. We've got a fabulous collection here for you. So first of all, you're going to get my wonderful pattern. And the pattern will easily be able to show you. You've got the flower garden cushion pattern there. So you've got all these wonderful pots here and all the wonderful flowers. You've got all the details of how to do this. You've got the colour coding. You've got all the designs and everything behind it and how to do it. You've got everything that you need there to be able to make this quilt with that pattern there. Then you're getting a wonderful collection of lightweight fat quarter bundle kits here. This is a really, really lovely colour combination there. Look how vibrant those colours are. Absolutely adore those. So you're getting that wonderful bundle there as well. You're also getting a half, half metre of this lime. So this works very well for the stalks because I wanted to have people have enough for the borders. This is the emerald. You're getting a metre of this, so this is enough for your borders, this is enough for your leaves, this is then what we use for your stalks, or you can alternate them around, but we wanted you to have two totally different greens so that you could do your stems and your leaves very, very comfortably on that. And then you're getting a metre and a half of the ivory as well, which is your background fabric to be able to do these. Now, I've not made the full quilt in this bundle, so that's the bundle that you're getting. Sorry, I'm jumping around like I'm an idiot. You're getting that wonderful colour combination there with those lightweight fabrics of the fat quarter bundle. You're getting the pattern instructions, you're getting a metre and a half of the white, a metre of the ivory, metre and a half of the ivory, a metre of the emerald, and a half metre of the lime. All of that available for $39.99. Really, really great price on that. And the finished product in a different colourway looks like this. And remember, with those lightweight fabrics, you're going to have tons left over. But what's really, really great is as you're making this, it works very well being able to use little bits and bobs of your scraps. So you'll see that I've made a little pot using a piece of fabric that we had lying around in the studio. And I used the Tilda apple butter as the top. So that works very, very well. And it's just something there where you can use contrast fabric. So you can see now, that was what I'd made using that gorgeous fat quarter bundle pack there. Absolutely love that. And you can see how different that looks to my original, which is why we chose this lighter pastel colorway, because just look how beautiful that is and how it just completely softens. Sorry. And I probably all deafened you at home now because I was rubbing up against my mic. Sorry about that. But you can just see how different that is, and just doing those softer colorways, how it just changes the quilt completely. So that's what I love about this, is that you can do totally different things using totally different patterns on this. Now, I did this as a really long demo. What date was that? That was on the 25th of March. So the great thing about our YouTube page is you can go back and look at our YouTube page at any point. 25th of March is what you're looking for, and you'll be able to see exactly how I made all of these together. And all I'm doing here is I'm just continuing on. I'm being a little bit, I've just used that beautiful pot there using our wonderful colorways here, the bundle that we've got there. And now I'm going to make a daffodil head. So the daffodil head, what I always try and do is I like to have a few different colours. So I can show you on the quilt what we're making. So if we can do that here. you'll see this is the daffodil head that I'm making here. But what I like about this is you don't need a huge amount of fabric for this. And what I like is I always tell people what you should do is try and use interesting fabrics that are going to coordinate. So what I do first of all is I make the pot and I make the leaves, and then I try and find something that's going to coordinate there. So where I've got this lovely long yellow bit there, I'm going to put that lovely orange bit just there. And then I'm looking through it and I'm thinking, no, don't like that. I'm going to look for all these different colorways that I've got left over. So these are the bits that I had left over, having made a whole load. And what I've done is I've pulled out, because I obviously want to use some orange, and we've got this lovely orange in the fat quarter bundle there. So I'm going to use the orange, obviously. So I think I'm going to do my oranges exactly the same as I did with that one. And then I'm going to use some yellow. So I've got 1, 2, 3 left over. So I'm going to make one of them this yellow. And then these are just scraps that we had lying around the studio. So I'm definitely going to use that because that is just so vibrant and fun. So I'm going to use that. And then I'm looking at this and thinking, I've got one individual, totally unique piece. And I look at that and I think, actually, that's not going to work as well. So I'm not going to use that piece. I'm going to use that for something else. But then, again, we had this Tilda apple butter sitting in the cupboard, sitting in our little box over there. So I'm going to make one of our pieces be that. So what's really nice is I roughly lay these out beforehand. I've now printed my pattern out using a photocopier, and I've used the Carol Doak papers, the foundation paper printing papers, which is a really fabulous product here. We've got that there available. These come with 100 sheets, and I've just popped them through the photocopier and printed this out. And what's a lot nicer to use this product is that when you're stitching through it, you are actually, your sewing experience is a lot nicer because this paper is a lot nicer. It's a lot more tear-offable. I cannot think of a way to say that any other way, but you know exactly what I mean. So when you're tearing the papers away, and anybody who's done foundation paper piecing knows, this is really, really nice to be able to tear your papers off. Absolutely easy to do, no problem at all. And today we're going to use the 720 to do this demo. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have to get some white fabric, which I've got over here. Sorry. So I just need to cut a little bit of this white fabric off. Now, this is what I do for the whole quilt. So when you get your big piece off, I cut a little chunk off. So I know that my widest piece is there. So I literally, now I freehand this. Do not freehand if you're not comfortable using a rotary cutter. Be safe. Your safety is 10 times more important than speed. So I just cut a piece like that off, and I just roughly cut some pieces because I know roughly how big I want them to be. And I know that that's the right page size, so I'm just cutting like that. So that's absolutely fine for my big piece, and then I'm going to cut a huge piece off here, and you'll see how I use that now. But I keep that to hand because I'm going to then improve and increase on that as we go. Now, with the foundation paper piecing method, what you're going to do is, I know that's my bottom piece. You need to pick your fabrics as you go. I love this fabric, and I'm going to use... Is that big enough? There we go. So I'm just roughly cutting the size of the fabric that I think I'm going to need. So when you're doing foundation paper piecing, it's a bit like paint by numbers. You're going to increase from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and you're just going to keep counting up. So my seam that I'm now going to be sewing is between number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is going to be a background piece of fabric. I know that because I wrote the pattern. And then number 2 is going to be my orange fabric. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm stitching from the top of the fabric, from the top of the page, I'm making sure I have enough fabric that's going to cover not only the seam allowance, but also the area that I'm going to be sewing. And then I'm putting my orange piece on here. I fold that back and I'm checking that that A2 area is enough to cover. I've got my iron on ready to go, And I'm going to slide that over just a little bit because I don't need that much waste on that. There we go. And then what I do is I'm taking this over to my sewing machine. I'm lining this up beautifully. And there we go. I start about 1 or 2 stitches before the actual point, and I've now done that. I've decreased my stitch length, and my stitch length now I think is 1.7, 1.8. The reason you want to do that is you want to make sure that you're getting a really, really good tight stitch so that when you are pulling your papers out, you've got a lovely, nice, tight seam to pull your papers out without there being any form of issue there. So everything that you want to keep is going to go underneath your ruler. I hadn't used these before I'd come to Sewing Street. This is the add a quarter ruler combination. You're getting the 12-inch and the 6-inch here. Really, really, really great ruler set because everything you want to keep goes underneath the seam line on this side of the page. But when you then line this 1/4 inch up, you can see that it automatically gets that lip of the paper and you've got a perfect 1/4 inch. So when I trim that off, you can tell that I've got a perfect 1/4 inch there, which is great, exactly what you're needing. And then I'm going to be using my June Taylor blocking cushion here. And my lovely prim iron, she's back in stock. I give that a nice little set my seams and then I roll this over. And there we go, we're just giving that a nice little press there. Now over here you can tell, this is a good way, I'm glad this happened. You can see that I've now pulled this over and my stitches are actually showing. So there you can see my stitches are showing. So you don't want that to be happening. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to push this fabric ever so slightly over. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to push that down. Because you don't want your stitches to be showing like that. Equally, you don't want this to have a massive lip hanging over it. You want it to be exactly like that, where you can't see your stitches, and that's the perfect line that you want there. So there we go, that's numbers 1 and 2. Number 3 is going to be the background fabric again. I've got a piece of background here. Please tell me that's the right colour. Of course it's not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a nice chunk of this. And I know that I've now got to go between numbers 2 and 3. So once I've got that there, you can see my line there, 2 and 3. I'm going to do a little fold line. I'm doing it the wrong way around. Helps if I do it the right way around. Doing my fold line between 2 and 3. That's going to be my stitch line now between this gorgeous orange and my background fabric. Now is that going to work? Yes, it is. So I can tell that that's more than enough to cover not only my seam allowance, but also the other side for a seam allowance. So now I'm going to stitch between 2 and 3. Now remember, this is all available on a really in-depth tutorial that I did on foundation paper piecing. So if you aren't quite getting what I mean, you can go and check that out. That was, what date was it, Laura? So that was available on the 25th of March. So you'll be able to flick back to that date and you'll easily be able to catch up on all my top tips on how to do this. And I did a really long in-depth tutorial on doing that. So if you're not understanding what I'm doing, go back to the 25th of March. You'll easily be able to catch up on that there and see. So these are then my little bits that I've got left over. So that goes into my charity box bag. And then what I do here is, you can tell how huge that piece of fabric is. Now I don't need it to be that big, so I'm just going to gently cut this off there. So you can see that bit of fabric there has covered the area of A3 like I needed it to. And now I'm going to use my June Taylor again, get my little prim iron, and I'm going to just set my seam there and just press that over nice and comfortably. And there we go, that's numbers 1, 2, and 3. My next colour, I think we're going to do a nice little yellow. I'm going to do my bright, bright yellow here. So I'm going to do my number 4 line over here, and I'm going to use this bright, bright yellow. So I'm going to fold on the line that I'm going to be stitching on. And you can see you've got a really small amount of background fabric there. That's all the background fabric you're going to have. So I know that that's going to be, get this right way around. So you put the fabric right sides together, and I'm going to be doing that. So my raw edges are going to be facing that way because the bits that are staying are over this way. So I'm making sure that on my seam there, which is my seam line, I've got 1/4 inch of the yellow. I'm going to flip this round. Now you are welcome to pin. As I said on the 25th of March, you're welcome to go and pin. I have done this a lot. I'm not saying I don't make mistakes, but I try not to pin because I find the pins slow me down. But I've done this a lot. So you pin as you feel comfortable pinning, and that was all explained on the 25th of March. So go back and watch that tutorial on there. Right. And there we go. So you can see I've now stitched on the line from number 1 to number 4. So that's the line that I wanted to stitch on. Everything I want to keep is now on this side. So I fold that page back. Everything I want to keep is going to go underneath my ruler. Everything I want to get rid of, you can see I've now got this gorgeous 1/4 inch add a 1/4 inch ruler. So that then automatically rests up against my papers. And then if I put that there, I've then got, that's my waste. That's the little bit of waste that I've had available there. And as you get better at this, you will get even more and more accurate with the amount of fabric that you're using. I've got a friend who will take a piece like that and use it for 2 separate pieces. She is that talented on this. And she's very good, but she's been foundation paper piecing for years. And as you get more confident with it, you will then expand as you go and you'll be cutting much smaller pieces. So you can see the piece that I'm keeping is very, very small compared to the piece that I've cut. So I'm now stitching, I've done number 4, I'm now doing number 5. So if I now fold on my number 5 line, there we go. And then I get my background fabric there. Now I know everything that I'm keeping is on this side. Everything that I end up getting rid of will be on that side. So I'm going to rest that over here. Just check I've got enough. There we go. And I know then that I'm sewing on this line over here, the 4-5 line here. So I take that to my sewing machine. How long have I got left on my demo for this? Well, I'll go until someone says stop. Okay. So again, all I'm doing now is I'm trimming off everything that I don't need. So you can see when I cut this little bit off that I don't need of the bright yellow, you'll see just how big a piece I cut. So that's the bit that I cut to use. But if I fold this back, that was all that I needed. So I am a firm believer, especially if you're just starting out on foundation paper piecing, I'm a firm believer that you start by cutting 10 times bigger than you need because you will always use the piece again. But if you cut a piece that's too small and you haven't got the seam allowance or something goes awry, you're always going to regret it because you've cut something the wrong size and you're going to be going, gosh, I should have cut that bigger. So I always cut bigger rather than smaller. And you've got loads in the bundle as well, so you won't be short of fabric. So the next one is, I'm going to use this Tilda apple butter. So that's going to be my stitch line there. Everything I'm getting rid of is going to be on that side of the stitch line because all of this we're keeping. So I line that up there. That's going to be my raw edge that I'm getting rid of. I turn this back to check that I've got enough fabric to go all the way through, and I do. So that's number 5 and 6. We've got 15 different seams to do in this one. So I might not finish the whole flower, but I'm certainly going to give it a go. Now what I do with this, and the great thing about having the Carol Doak paperwork, the paper here, is you're going to kill a needle. on this project, and that's absolutely fine because the finish that you get is so worth having a needle that you don't quite... What I do, I always change with my foundation paper piecing. As I start the project, I put a new needle in. And the reason being is that you want those points to be very sharp. But if I change my needle every 8 hours of sewing, when I'm doing foundation paper piecing, I change it every 4 hours of sewing. And I also have a separate rotary cutter for it because occasionally I'm cutting paper with it as well. So I make sure that I've got separate tools for both. And I don't mind because a needle, we're talking maybe 50p for a needle. I'd rather change the needle every 3-4 hours to make sure I'm getting the best possible finish on my foundation paper piecing. Because you want to make sure that you're getting it. Oh, what have I done there? I thought I could smell something then. Little thread was caught on my iron. So there we go. Now we're going to do number 6 to 7. Now, as you're doing these, as you're going through, you're going to have different shaped pieces as you go along. That's totally normal. Cut bigger. Cut your piece a lot bigger than you think you need. So I know that that's my seam allowance. My seam's going to be there. That's going to be my seam allowance. So when I fold this back, where I'm going to be sewing, that's my shape that I need. So when I do that, I just glance back and check, yes, I've got enough space. That is going to be right, because if I put that in like that and I folded this back, I might not have enough for the shape. So you're always checking to see that you've got the fabric in the right place to be able to cover the space that you need. And remember, you're sewing from the top, not the back. So you need to just keep turning back, and you've got to check that if your seam ends there, you need to make sure that you've got an extra 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch on this side and on this side. Because a number of times I've done this, even recently, I've sewn it together and the seam ends just there, and I've got to redo it because there isn't enough fabric at the bottom to make sure it's nice and secure. And having a nice bright light helps as well, which is a lovely feature of the 720, that you can easily see where you are as well. Oh. And there we go. You can see it does, once you get into a rhythm of it, it does go really, really quickly. And again, everything that you're keeping is going underneath your ruler. Everything you're getting rid of is that side of your ruler. You use your add a 1/4 ruler up to here. Now, what's great about the add a 1/4 is you can see over here, I've got more fabric on this piece than I needed. So now, when I cut all the way along that line, I haven't got that extra wastage in there. So it's a great ruler to have to be able to help you on this process. And you just keep doing that. You sew and you press on every single step as you go through, and you just keep going and going and going until you get to the end. Now, the beginner's quilt one for this, I found... I can't remember exactly how long it took me to do, but it's, if you average about an hour a block, you're looking at probably 9 hours for the whole piece. So it's a nice size, and it's one of those ones you can then put away and take away and come back to. My top tip on doing any form of foundation paper piecing is, whichever one you're doing, get loads of bags, and I will find I must have 40 different bags of different pieces that I've got, that I'm working on. And the reason I have so many is because I've got all these different colors that I use for different projects. So I always, and if I've got a little bit of scrap that I haven't used in a foundation paper piecing product, I then put that in a bag as well, because it just means that if I'm ever looking for a bit of Tilda beautiful orange or a lovely color to use for one of these, chances are in my foundation paper piecing box, I've got a bag with that fabric in it, so it's going to work really, really well. Oh, I love this machine. I'm so glad I've got one. So there we go. And that's coming up in the next hour. And there we go. And you do get into such a rhythm with this as well, and you're going to go through, and it's just, I'll do another 5 minutes on it. I don't want to bore you all with it, because I could be doing this for hours and not have a problem on it. But it is just such a lovely, relaxing. I do find it very mindful as well, because it's a way that you actually really have to focus on what you're doing, and you just switch off to to the world. It's wonderful. We all need a little bit of that at the minute, don't we? And there we go. So again, I'm folding on where the stitch line is. Everything on that side I'm keeping. Everything on this side I'm going to be getting rid of. Now, as you can tell over here, as I've folded this back over here, if I turn this back, you can see I don't have that 1/4 inch over there. So that's where it's really, really important to keep checking where you are and make sure that you've got enough fabric as you go along. So over here, I need at least up to there to make sure I've got my seam. So that's covered. And I need it to go out to there, so that's perfect. So if this had been down 1 inch, I wouldn't have had enough on this side for the seam. So that's why just take your time checking that you've got enough fabric all the way through to make sure that your project will work perfectly. Oh, this machine is so fast and lovely. And it's that thread cutter. Oh. It's the little things. It doesn't take much to please me. There we go. So you can see again, this rule is really good because down this end, we've got a huge collection of fabric we don't need. And we line that up perfectly and we trim that away. And then we press. And it is great. When I do this in my studio, you will find, if anybody ever sees me doing it, I've got my chair set up in the middle here. I've got my sewing machine in front of me here. I've got my cutting board here, and I've got my iron here, and I just swivel. I just swivel. I know people are very good. They're much better than I am. They put theirs on the other side of the room, and they get up and go and do their steps, which is why I'm a little larger than most people, and I'm happy with that. So there we go. We're now on number 10. So you can see now in a few minutes I've done 10 different seams all the way through. And I think I'm going to go back to my orange now. Have I got enough orange there to do that? Nope. So what you'll do with the top and the bottom, you'll see that I've got an overhang. That is absolutely fine because I'm hoping to get to the point where I can trim this off for you. So unfortunately, this orange is just that little bit too short for me to be able to do it there. So I'm just lining this up here. I'm going to sew there, and I am using a bit of a larger piece here, and I will have a bit of wastage, but it's not wastage because I put it back in my bag. And the next project I do, I go and use that orange on the next project. So there is very, very little waste on these projects, which I love, because being able to use as much of the fabric you bought as possible is great. Oh, there we go. I'm surprised my bobbins lasted so long. I wasn't expecting that. I was worried I was going to have to do half my demo on my sewing machine in this hour, but it's not working that way. It's working for me. So again, we're now at the point of doing a very good, nice little press on this. And just watch out for your stitches as you go. You don't want your stitches showing through. So I have to say, when I came to quilting, FPP was probably 2 years in, 3 years in. So I've been doing this now for 6 years. I had my anniversary last week. So yeah, this is a technique that I haven't been doing that long, but it is definitely a technique that I fell head over heels in love with. Absolutely adore it. It's such a good technique. And I know a lot of people are worried about starting it, but I promise you, it's one of those techniques that once you've started it, you'll find the first 2 or 3 that you make. So I always suggest make pots. You make these little pots. And the reason being, these ones, you've got 4 seams. And if it goes wrong, oh well, doesn't matter. Because it's 4 seams, it's a small piece of fabric. It's your practice piece. And we've all got those people in our lives that we want to make things for that won't appreciate it as much as we'd like them to. We make them a cushion out of the block that isn't quite right and do it that way. So it's just a really lovely, lovely technique. And accuracy, the accuracy on these is so good. I definitely think, because I'm an accountant as well, for me, everything needs to line up. Everything needs to be as accurate as it can possibly be to be able to make sure that I'm getting the very best out of my product and the time that I'm using making this. So I'm not sure. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more lines. Shall I do them? Okay. So there we go. You keep going along and stitching these all along. But you can see how you're going along. And then what you're going to do is when you come to do your number 15 over there, what I suggest people do when you get to 15, especially given you've stitched over some of the lines, you pull this back, and this is where your 1/4 inch ruler is going to come in really, really handy. So you can see I'm now folding on that 15 line there. You can see I fold, it's a little bit over, so I want to make sure I get this completely right because you don't want there to be too little fabric here. So there we go. I folded that perfectly. I take my 1/4 inch ruler, I line that up, and then everything at the bottom of this I cut off, because when I come to sew this edge on here, I've now got a clean line to sew against. So it just then, you've got this ruler is really, really good to be able to do that. These rulers are fantastic for this additional piece on there. And then once you've done that, you'll sew this block onto the top of that, and you've got another pot in your collection. So go back and check out that YouTube video that the YouTube page that we have. I have a bag somewhere. Forgive me. So they're on the 25th of March. I'm going to spend hours picking that all up and putting it back in order, but that's okay. Oh, we've had a question in. Question in from Susan. What wadding would I recommend to quilt an FPP project? Right, this is a really great question. So, and you've timed that perfectly because we have new wadding. With the FPP projects, when you're finished, I've got the papers still in on the back of mine. But what you've got is you've got some quite chunky seams over here. So if I turn that back there, you can see you've got quite a lot of fabric over there. And on the corners over here, you've got quite a lot of fabric over here. So for myself, I personally prefer using the 80/20 wadding from Hobbs. Me? No, sorry, I thought they would. The joy of talkback is a whole different conversation happens. And you're like, are you talking to me? So they're not talking to me. So what I would use for that personally is I prefer the 80/20 wadding. Here we've got, this is from So Simple Super Soft Wadding in pre-cut sizes. This is a queen size, so I don't know what the inches is, but it's 90 by 108. So this is 90 inches by 108. So that's available for $44.99. Now I personally prefer this one because I find that with that thick cotton wadding, any lumping that you've got, you don't feel quite as much as with this. But someone who has quilted for a lot longer than I have, my dear friend Angie, she completely and utterly disagrees with me, and I think she's one of the best gurus in quilting ever made. So she prefers the 100% polyester, and the reason she prefers that is you get a much more 3D effect on your quilting. This is also a queen size, so this is 90 by 108 inches, and this is 100% polyester. And when you're quilting this, you've got that 3D effect because the polyester gives that little bit of bounce, and she thinks that you don't end up feeling the corners as much as you do with the cotton. I personally prefer the 80/20 or 100% cotton, and Angie prefers having the polyester wadding. They are both excellent, excellent products. There is nothing wrong with one versus the other. It is a personal preference, and sometimes it's a budget preference as well. These are brand new in today as well. Really, really great products, and such great prices as well. Because you're looking now, 2.25. These are the biggest pieces that we've had in as well, and I'm just trying to work this out. So $29.99 divided by 2.28. I'm trying to do $29.99 divided by 228. Yeah. Wow, okay. So the polyester wadding is working out at £13.25 a metre there, and that's for 274 inches wide. That is an incredible price on that. That is a really, really good deal there. So this is a queen-sized 100% polyester wadding that is available in queen size, so 90 by 108 inches for $29.99, coming in at £13.25. So both are available there, and then the Hobbs one we've got as well, which is the 80/20. It's not Hobbs, sorry. This is So Simple Soft Wadding. Both of these are available on the website, so if you just type in wadding and search on our website, you'll be able to do that. Now, don't forget, if any of you have any questions or you want to ask anything, your best way of doing it is to drop us a message on our Facebook page. We have Sewing Street TV, so that's www.sewingstreettv. Our Sewing Street TV page is facebook.com/Sewing Street TV. And we're monitoring that all day and all the time we're on air. If you want to drop us a message into our Facebook, into our studio as well, we're obviously able to do that as well. The best way of doing that is our email address, which is it's studio@sewingstreet.com. And that's being monitored as well, so you'll easily be able to reach us there very, very easily. Oops. And we can then answer any questions you might have about any products as well. It's a really nice, fun, interactive way of being able to do it. And also, if there's something you want to see that we've had on, or if you've got any ideas of what we can do going forward as well, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. It's just a really nice way to be able to stay in touch and be able to go from there. So, what I didn't have space to do earlier, because we've got so much wonderful things, is to lay out my demonstration for you for this hour. So let me start by showing you the kits. I literally am just throwing things on the floor behind me today. Forgive me, but I promise you, Cat will clean it up. No, she won't. She'll beat me to death with my own arms if I did that. So let me show you what we're getting first. We're going to first do the grey bundle. So this is just a suggestion of what the quilt will look like in the colourways. So this is the... Oh, don't fall, please don't fall. So this is the grey colourway here. This is the quilt that you're going to make out of that using the Sunprints fabric. And these are the new Alison Glass Sunprints fabric that you're going to get here. This was our colourway that you've done. So you've got that gorgeous purple. You've got that lovely... So you're getting 1.5 metre? Metre? How much are you getting in the grey? So you're getting 3 metres of that beautiful grey. You're getting 1.5 metres of that beautiful purple. Getting 1 metre of this cross-stitch dark colour. I can't remember what it's called. Then you're getting 0.5 metre of that light grey and 0.5 metre of that, as well as your instructions. And you're going to get this gorgeous quilt, and I can't remember how big the quilt is. Let me double check. The quilt is 70 inches square as well. So that is the gorgeous colourway. But you can see how beautiful these Sunprint fabrics are, and just how beautifully they go together as well. Just look how gorgeous they are there in that colourway. Really, really beautiful there. And you can see that you've got this gorgeous purple here that's pulled up here. Absolutely stunning. Really, really stunning fabrics, these. Love that. So you're getting 0.5 metre of these two colours, 1 metre of this colour, 1.5 metres of the purple, and 3 metres of the grey. Really, really lovely there. So that's the first colourway that we're doing, and that's the way I'm going to be demonstrating this to you in a little while. And don't forget, you're getting the fabulous instructions as well, and the instructions are really, really good. Well, I'm being biased, I hope, but it's great because you're able to... Oh, that was my spare one I was looking for earlier. So you've got this wonderful set of instructions, and it's got all these pictures to show you exactly what you're doing, step by step, all the way through, being able to show you how you do that and how you get it right. And don't forget, you can reach us on our social media platforms if you have any questions or queries about it. I'm always on there looking to see what you're up to. And then we've got the Ivory colour combination, which is represented by this one here. And you can see how gorgeously well these colours go together. Again, that is the design of what it's going to look like. And then you're going to get 3 meters, oh, I've got this in the wrong place again, 3 meters of that beautiful ivory. You're getting 1.5 meters of that gorgeous green. You're getting 1 meter of this blue, 1/2 meter of the blue, sorry, 1/2 meter of the pink, and 1/2 meter of this lovely orange. Oh, what should it be? Ah, okay, so there's a small price error on our screens at the moment. The price of the quilt should be $78.99. So you will pay $78.99. Our graphics are wrong. Sorry about that. We've got these little gremlins every now and then that pop in. So that you will only be paying £78.99 for these quilts. So if you have already purchased them, don't worry. You won't be charged the $79.86. The price is correct on the website. So make sure that you check out that, and you don't have to worry. It'll be $78.99 for these 2 kits. Really, really good. So I'm going to now show you my top tips on making each of these. I'm going to start with block 1. That's not block 1. Where did I put block 2? What have I done with my block 1? Ah, there we go. Right, so my block 1, what my top tip was on this is the width of your squares. The width of the squares that you're doing is written in the pattern. Cut out a long length of that square. And what you're going to do is you're then going to cut, because these are sewn together, you'll see you've got to make these. So what you're going to do is you're going to sew the strip together, and then you're going to cut that the length that it needs to be with the seam allowance, and you're going to cut 2 of them. So if I can now reach over here and find my little ruler. And if I remember correctly off the top of my head, you're going to cut 2 of these. Okay, and then when you're doing the 2 of these, the block looks like this. So I'm just going to lay the block out. I can't remember what colour my pink is. We're going to assume it's dark grey. So you can see the block looks like this. It's slowly but surely taking shape before your eyes. I know it is, and you're all looking going, huh? What's that? Don't understand. So you can, it'll come there. I've just mixed my bundles up, unfortunately, so I'm getting, oh. So you can see these dark dots create a crisscross all the way through your quilt. So you need to make sure that you're getting your crosses all going in the right direction. So that's what the block's going to look like. But the top tip I had was being able to take these, you've cut these around, so what you do is you turn one around, you put them together, and because I've pressed my seams in one direction, you can nestle those perfectly there, line this up with your 1/4 inch foot over here. Now I mustn't forget to increase my stitch length because I don't need such a big stitch length. Oops, something's not happy there. And then you've created that square that you need absolutely perfectly just by doing a much quicker method of actually just doing a long strip to be able to make block 1. And you're going to make 4 of block 1, and you can see this is your block 1 over here. And you can see that these dark blocks all the way along create that wonderful design all the way through the quilt. So on this one you can see that they're registered as pink, and you've got that pink line all the way through your quilt. It just creates that lovely little bit of synergy on there, and it's just a nice way of being able to make this block really, really, really simply and save yourself a little bit of time. Can't go wrong with that. So that was block 1. Now block 2 was a little bit more complicated, and now I've dropped these on the floor, which is not good. That's block 3. We're going to put, right. So now I've got my block 2s. Now block 2s are really important. Anybody who's doing my block of the week, you're going to be ahead of the curve on this one, because you are going to know exactly how to do a scant 1/4 inch. What am I doing here? Sorry, I'm getting confused. So that one's going to go that way and that way. And you just take your time and lay this out, because for myself, I prefer laying these out every single time, making sure that you can check everything's in the right space, you've got it all in the right place, everything's laid out correctly, and then you start sewing them together and making sure you know where you are. Now, I did do this demo on my birthday, the 29th of May, so if you want to go back and see these tips again, you can watch it on today's show. Otherwise, you can watch it on the 29th of May show as well. Both are available for you, and you'll get to see the wonderful festivities of that day. So I think you can see what I'm doing. It's just a group of half square triangles all the way through the quilt. And you're going to make 4 of these blocks. And it's just a nice, easy, simple block, even though you're looking at it and you're thinking, gosh, that's quite complicated. All you're going to do is you're now going to sew each and every one of these together as a half square triangle. Now, when you come to sew these together, what's really, really important, and I'm grabbing a pen over here to show you, when you do your stitch line, when you're doing your stitch line over here, normally you're going to get a 1/4 inch seam exactly. So when I put my 1/4 inch seam line there, my stitch line would be over here, and that would be a perfect 1/4 inch seam. That's absolutely fine. Now over here, you can see that my 1/4 inch seam is slightly thinner than what it's meant to be, and the reason is when I fold this triangle over and I press it flat, if I had a full 1/4 inch seam, the seam ends there, and then I've got the fold of fabric, so you can see there's 2 or 3 threads of fabric that are now making your triangle a little bit smaller than it needs to be. So by doing what's known as a scant 1/4 inch, you are then able to press this triangle open, and the triangle is then the perfect size you need it to be. And it is really important that you follow that, because if you end up with your triangle being, say, 1/8 of an inch smaller all the way through your block, you're actually going to end up with your whole quilt, all your quilt blocks maybe being 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch smaller, each of these blocks. And if you're doing that over 4 blocks, you can end up with your whole quilt being a 1/2 an inch to 3/4 of an inch smaller than it should be. So those 1/4 inch seams are really, really, really important, as is laying this out as you go along. It's going to make your life a lot easier to lay this out as you go along. So don't worry about just making sure that you get your 1/4 inch seam completely correct as a scant 1/4 inch. I did read on Facebook yesterday, somebody had asked, where would I buy a scant 1/4 inch foot? I've only got a 1/4 inch foot. So a scant 1/4, you don't get a scant 1/4 inch foot. What you'll get is a 1/4 inch foot, and all you will do is you will move your needle over. So most machines that have a movable needle will move for a Janome, I think it's 5.5. So you would then have a 5.5 position. What I do is, if I'm doing a scant 1/4 inch, I line my fabric up to the edge of the foot, but I have my needle position either at 5.6 or 5.7, because it's just that little bit over that means that you're going to be able to get your quilt absolutely perfect in line for where you need to go. So now I am laying out my last block, which is actually very similar to the block of the week. So this block, I think there are 24 half square triangles, and I heard you all take a deep inhalation of breath there. Don't worry, it's a lot easier than you think it is. It just takes time. You lay everything out, you repeat everything all the way through, you take your time measuring out what you need, and you just take your time. There's no rush on it. And if anybody's rushing you, then send them away for a little while. That bit goes there. I'm just double checking I've got my colours right. So this is pink. The problem of having so many different quilts on the go is you forget which colour goes where. So you can see I'm laying this out as I go. You will lay out the whole quilt. I do suggest each block. Now you're only making one of these. I was very kind to you because it is not an easy block, and having all of these smushed in my bag for a week or two doesn't help. But it is a really, really nice block to be able to say that you've been able to do. I've got those the wrong way round. And the good thing is that when you lay these all out like this, you're able to pick up if you've got something going the wrong way round. It's just really important just to take your time, lay it all out and see where you are. But it is a very complicated, I think there are 57 pieces in this block. I know, I'm sorry. But look how beautiful it is when it's finished. It really, really works. We're almost there. Sorry, I'm just paying attention, making sure I get this laid out correctly. So here are our 6,000,004 half-square triangles of loveliness. And it is one of those ones you literally just lay it all out, and yours won't be as crumpled as mine is because as you cut them, you lay them out. Now all of this, exactly the same thing. You're going to take your half-square triangles, you're going to put one on top of the other, and you're going to make sure you do your scant 1/4 inch, exactly like I explained earlier. You're going to pop this through, and I'm hoping you've got a beautiful machine like I do. Oh, come on. Why are you not taking my fabric, my darling? Come on. Ah, it's because there was a thread caught, that's why. I've learnt from trial and error, always test it before you get caught up. Perfect. Brilliant. Right, so let's try that again. And now you're doing a scant 1/4 inch here, not a 1/4 of an inch. That's where you're just sewing 1 or 2 threads inside from where your 1/4 inch would normally be. Oh, come on. So this is what's called a donkey, where you put a piece of fabric through. Oh, you are not happy. Emergency stop. What's wrong? And the great thing is this machine, if it's not happy, don't worry, she's gonna tell you. So all you would do is you would sew that in as a scant 1/4 inch there, and you would put these all together. So you'll see I've done a few of them here. And then when you're putting these together, when you fold these two together, you need to make sure that the seam that you've sewn together here for your half-square triangle and the seam for your half-square triangle here, you want to line those up perfectly so that you end up with that perfect point of your flying geese there. And now I know you can do this as a flying geese. I wanted people to be able to perfect the half-square triangle, and you can tell that that's what you're looking for, is you're sewing those all together exactly like that. You're going to sew 4 like that, and you're going to put 2 on either side with the once you've done it, and then you're going to put 2 squares onto 2 of them, and that'll be what you're going to do on that as well. But with all these half-square triangles, what I love about the Alison Glass is you're able to then see, no matter how small I've cut these down, you can still see the beautiful details on there. Pretend these are nice and flat and haven't been in my bag for the last week. But you can see one will have a butterfly on them, one has a heart, this one's got a bit of a moth, this has got a star and a cross, that's got the handle of a pair of scissors, that's got a little flower on it, it's just and that's got a spade on it, that's got a little bee on it. So you can just go through, and each one of them has something so different on the fabric that it is just so unusual to be able to see what you're getting. And each fabric is so different, and it's really, really good to be able to see that. Really lovely. So that's what you're going to do then for all of your blocks, making those. You're only making one of these blocks, thankfully. So this is now the pattern that you got for the Alison Glass Sunprint chains block. So first of all, I'm going to show you the grey kit that I've been sewing with here. It is such a gorgeous, gorgeous colorway here. Now remember, I did mention to you earlier, we have got a slight error on our pricing at the moment. You will be paying less for the product than it is shown on your screen. This is actually £78.99 for this kit. You're getting my wonderful set of instructions over here. It's all right, we're just going to come and move the camera now. You can hear the pitter-patter of little feet 2.2 meters away from me. So that's the pattern that you're going to get with it. You're also going to get ½ meter of this beautiful yellow. You're going to get ½ meter of this lovely light grey. All of these are Alison Glass's Sunprints 2020 collection. You're getting 1 meter of the dark black as the cross-stitch combination there. You're getting 1.5 meters of this beautiful purple. And then you're getting 3 meters of this gorgeous light grey background fabric. And at the moment, this grey is it's like hen's teeth trying to get grey fabric at the moment. We've started a movement with everybody using grey. You just can't get it anywhere. So you're getting 1 meter, 2 meters, 3.5, getting 6.5 meters of fabric and the set of instructions in this grey colourway. So this is the grey Sunprints quilt kit instructions and fabric. 6.5 meters of fabric and the instructions. That's going to be available for £78.99. We have a small typo on your screen at the moment, so that will come to you as £78.99. For the ivory, again, you've got the wonderful set of instructions. You're getting 3 meters of that ivory fabric. You're getting 1.5 meters of this green fabric. You're getting 1 meter of the blue. Getting ½ meter of that gorgeous pink and ½ meter of this beautiful orange. And that's the 6.5 meters of fabric you're getting there and the wonderful set of instructions. And that's available for £78.99. I know the price on your screen says something different, but they are £78.99. When you place the order, you will get an email later in the day to say that your price and that you're paying, and that will say £78.99. So that has been a really fabulous hour there, lots of there. In the next hour, we've got the fabulous 720, which I've just purchased, or Andrew just purchased me for my birthday. We've got some fabulous tools as well, and we're going to recap all our wonderful Aurifil. I haven't said Aurifil all hour. I'm behaving myself. It's really great. And we'll recap that fabulous early bird special that we've got on as well. So we're going to take a few moments to redo the set, and we'll see you in a few moments.
Hello there, I'm Debbie, and this is my brand new Sewing Room Secrets quilting book, which is available exclusively signed on Sewing Street right now. So if you haven't seen any of the shows or caught up on YouTube, let me give you a quick flick through, because in here I'm going to teach beginner sewers or beginner quilters all about quilting, different types of quilting, different techniques for quilting and for binding your quilts as well. But not necessarily quilts that go on a bed. There's a quilted Christmas stocking tutorial, there's a quilted placemat tutorial, a quilted storage hanger tutorial. So very simple, achievable products for the beginner quilter to learn how to sew. So you can't buy this anywhere else at the moment. You certainly can't buy it anywhere else, even on pre-order with a signed copy, but you can get hold of them right now on Sewing Street while we have the stock. You can order on the website, you can order on the phone lines. I do hope you enjoy it.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hello there, I'm Debbie Shaw, and I would love you to join me on the first Monday of every single month for Sewing Street Surgery. Now, this is a dedicated hour where I answer your questions, and that could be questions about techniques, it could be questions about tools, it could be questions about new products, or maybe something that you've seen that you just don't understand. There's a lot of questions about tensions on sewing machines, and there's a lot of questions about working with different weights of fabrics. So if you have a question that you'd like to ask me, the easiest way to bring a question over to us is to go to our Facebook page and post your question on there. I will collate all of those questions throughout the week. If we need any new products for you, or if we need any new demonstrations, those will all be worked on leading up to that first Monday of the month. So do join me, Debbie Shaw, on Sewing Street Surgery on the first Monday.
Would you like to take part in our weekly competition? If you do, then all you have to do is head to the Sewing Street fan page group on Facebook. Post your picture of your make. Myself, Debbie Shaw, and John Cole Morgan love looking at all of your makes every week. We pick our favourite and announce the winner every Friday live on the show. Happy sewing and good luck.
If you love sewing, then you need the UK's favourite sewing magazine. Every month, you'll receive exclusive patterns. Follow simple step-by-step guides suitable for all skill levels to make your own stunning clothes, accessories and more, together with inspiring tips and tricks from industry experts. Join in and discover your love for sewing. Try Love Sewing today and get your first 3 issues for just £6.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick and pick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back. I am beyond excited about this hour because this is my birthday present from my gorgeous husband. What a birthday present to have. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of history about me because I know a lot of people don't quite know a lot about where I am with my quilting journey and everything. Sorry, I could see thread hanging down. I wanted to just get that out of the way. So I have, Andrew, stop listening. I have 39 sewing machines. Andrew, I told you, stop listening. These are varied. So I have So let's also go back about Janome. So Janome and Elna are basically the same company. They have got very similar machines. They're different in many ways. So Janome products I have had since the very beginning. The very first sewing machine I had was a Janome. I think I've got 12 Janome sewing machines. They range from the very entry beginning level of sort of 20, the first one I bought was £79.99. Then I bought a £399 one, and then I bought another £399 one because I fell madly in love with it. And then I bought another £80 one, and then I bought another one, and then I bought another one, and then I bought the embroidery machine, the MC500, and then I bought the industrial 1600p, which was, it's about 9 years old, and it is exquisite. It is one of the best machines in the world, and it's virtually identical to this. This is much better. So the 1600 I use every single day. I use it for straight stitching because it is an industrial straight stitch machine. But when I do my gorgeous Dresdens and I want to put them on, I want to have a really lovely big throat space. And my 1600 has the gorgeous throat space, but it only does straight stitching. So I then got to do the free motion thing and go boop, 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 boop with my Dresdens, and that doesn't work for me. I find that a little bit cumbersome, so then I'm having to transfer onto a smaller machine. I am no longer a beginner. I don't consider myself to be a professional by any stretch of imagination, but I am sewing on average 8 hours, 10 hours a day, every single day, and that's normally 6 to 8 hours a week. No, actually, no, now that I work here, that's probably about 4 or 5 days a week because I do have a lot of prep to do for samples, and when I'm doing my own bits in my studio, I am doing 6 to 8 hours a day at the very least. When I do retreats and things, we're sewing solidly for 6 to 8 hours a day as well. So when you're using a £300-400 machine, that is fabulous and they work fine, but you get to a point when you're sewing Journey where actually that machine is no longer as effective for you as it should be. As always, I've left my iron on 30 seconds. And what you find then is by investing in a slightly better machine, you're actually saving yourself time. So that was where my 1600 came in, is I wanted to have something that was really heavy, really robust. It's got a cast iron base. It's a solid industrial machine. It loads from the side. It's a really great machine, but it only does straight stitching. So when I was looking for an upgrade, I was definitely going to go down the Janome route. I was going to make sure that I got the HD9, which was exactly like my 1600, but going up one level. It's the new edition of it. But then I saw this machine, and to say that I gushed all over it would be an understatement. Now, Debbie has done the most incredible demonstrations on every single creative stitch, every single decorative stitch. I haven't used a decorative stitch on my sewing machine for a year. But I want to do my Dresdens, I want to be appliquing them on, I want to be satin stitching them on, and using my tiny little £300 machine, my gorgeous little Janome that I take everywhere with me, it's quite hard doing it because it doesn't have the throat space. So when I saw Debbie using all of those creative stitches, although that isn't the main reason I bought my machine, I knew that I would use them, and I know that it would then expand my sewing portfolio to be able to do it, which is why great discussions, long conversations, and great many dinners cooked and all lovely things to be able to bribe my gorgeous husband in order to get this for my birthday. And I tell you, it is one of the most incredible machines. Now, picking the right machine is really, really hard, and it is a big investment. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of processing, a lot of machine research and things to go. Now, I trust Janome, I trust Elna as a brand because I've used them for years. God forbid anything goes wrong. They are absolutely phenomenal in fixing it. They are absolutely an amazing, amazing company. They've got a fantastic service facility. If you've got a question, one day I phoned up and I said, I can't remember the name of the foot. I can't remember, it looks like this. And the woman listened to me for about 10 minutes, which she says, it's the F foot. I'm like, thank you. And that was it. I didn't pay anything for it. The service is exceptional. They are outstanding. If you ever have the privilege of meeting Jane Brogan, she is one of the most talented people ever with regards to sewing machines. She is extraordinary. She will always not oversell you a machine. She will tell you exactly what she's looking for. And what I love about that is she is the perfect embodiment of what Janome is. Honest, reliable, genuinely good products with great, great service. So for me, when I knew that, I knew I was going Janome. I knew I was going Elna, there was no question on that. And then when I looked at the HD9, which was the upgrade of the 1600 versus this one was more expensive. I think this was about £600 more expensive. I might get that wrong. But it is a definite considered purchase. And when I was considering this purchase, I watched Debbie's demos. She's done some incredible demos. If the dates, if I'm not mistaken, is it the 16th of March? 21st of March? And then sorry, which dates were they? No, what dates? 21st of March, the 26th of March, and then the 1st of April. Debbie did 3 incredible demos, and those demos caused me to buy this machine, because the bit that Debbie didn't do as much on is the 1250 stitches per minute in a straight line. You get what's known as, oh, I haven't put my foot up. You get what's known as the high performance plate. Now this is purely for straight stitching, and this is the plate that I know 95% of my time on my machine, this is what I'm going to be doing, because 95% of my time is straight stitching. So you're going to get this fabulous plate, you're going to line it in. I'm just going to quickly take this foot off as well. Of course, doing it backwards, sideways and all that. And you get this high performance straight stitch foot as well. So for me, Debbie did these incredible demonstrations on all these incredible decorative stitches, and they were perfect. And that is what sold me on the machine, because I know what this performance is on the straight stitch side of things, because this is this very, very similar chassis to the 1600. It is a very similar cast iron weight on it. This is, now when you lift it, you are going to need to make sure you put your hand here and you lift. This is it 13.5 or 14.5 kilos? It's a really, really heavy machine. But what I love about it is, I'm just checking I don't have a tea or coffee under there, is this is a really robust machine. It doesn't move. It stays put because it is so heavy. And when you've got the high performance plate on, and you've got the high performance foot on, you can, and the great thing about it is that when you line this up here with the end of your foot, you are almost exactly at 1/4 inch. So that is the perfect scant 1/4 inch foot for you to be able to do it. But you do need to get the machine in order to do that. So what I love about it for me, and the reason I purchased it, is the speed of it, the durability of it, that 1250 stitches per minute. It is extraordinary. It is an amazing thing. And it is definitely one of the fastest machines on the market, but speed is great. But if you don't have the quality, what's the point of having the speed? And the quality on this machine is exceptional. You've got that Janome engineering that has been around for I think it's over 100 years. You've got that incredible support of being able to purchase the machine and know if anything goes wrong, there are people on the end of the line who can help you. You've got a warranty of 2 years that is included. You can buy an additional warranty, which is not that much. I don't remember the price off the top of my head. Give Janome a call and you can find out, but it is a fantastic backing to have if anything goes wrong on it. You've got, and that's just my take on it. For me, it is straight line stitching. I want to know that if whatever I put through it, it's going to go. I can do denim, I can do leather, I can do 4 layers of denim, I can do 8 layers of denim. It is a fantastically robust machine, and you will easily be able to do it. And Elna describes it as a perfect combination of power, performance and durability. And that is why I bought it. And the reason I bought it is not because they said it. It's not because I got the machine for free. It's not that I get anything for saying it. Is I'm always going to be honest with you. And this machine is exceptional. I bought it. It was I could have had a lot more. I could have bought something else for that money to be able to do it. And it is a really considered purchase. And I literally, the day I started, I saw the 720 on the floor over there and I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And I literally stroked it every day that I came in. But then I looked at the 680 and then I looked at the 720 and then I went and looked online at the 780 and then we got the 780 in and then we looked at the Italia, and I spent a lot of time focusing on what it was that I needed in a machine, what was important for me. And for me was the speed, the precision, knowing I've got that great customer care behind me if anything goes wrong. And it hasn't, nothing will go wrong, but knowing that they're there is great. Keep your box. box. That is the top tip. Keep your box. You've got to keep the box. Even if you fold it down, you must keep the box and the polystyrene that comes with it, because God forbid you need to send it back. You have to send it back in the original packaging, and it makes sure that it's nice and safe while you ship it. So keep your box. But it is such a great machine, and it stitches so perfectly. And then not only that side of things, go and watch Debbie on the 21st of March, the 26th of March. Those were two really, really long, intense videos where she showed you all these incredible decorative stitches here. And I'm just going to show you a few of them, because these are using twin needles. I've only used a twin needle once in a class with somebody holding my hand. But I tell you, when I saw that, I'm on my way to go and buy a twin needle to try it. And this is then another one. You can see all the different zigzags, increasing the length on them as well. And this comes with 200 different stitches. And just look at the quality of this. Now, this does have a stabilizer in it. So I'm just going to show you the stabilizer. So you're using a pretty, I think this is tear and share, but it's a very you know what I mean. The tear and share, you know what I mean. I know that's after a bread, but I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but you can see the quality of the stitching is exceptional, and it is so good. You're not only getting those, you've got these wonderful alphabets as well. You've got this individual stitch of saying handmade. You've got stitch, 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 which is a pre-recorded, from there to there is a preset stitch, which is fantastic. And look, you've got little kitty cats in a line, and it comes with 3 different alphabets, and you've got all these wonderful things. The 3 alphabets are European, Russian, and Japanese. So Japanese, Janome is a Japanese brand, so that's why you've got the Japanese alphabet on that, but it's got Russian and English on it as well. But you can see all these incredible stitching. I think this is when Debbie did do that high performance stitching on there as well, and she was sewing through 2 really thick layers of fabric here. This is a really thick canvas, but you can see the quality of that stitch there. Look, it is immaculate on that side, immaculate on this side. She's used a white bobbin on the bottom, and you can just tell how perfect that stitching is there. And that's what you want, is you want to know that not only have you got that really great power, but you've got the precision on whatever stitch you're doing. So go and watch the demos that Debbie's done. I know it's a considered purchase. It took me almost 6 weeks to decide on it, but I promise you, you will not be disappointed in it, because you've got everything you could possibly want on it. So if you are looking to buy this machine today, you're going to be paying £1,399. It's definitely a considered purchase. It's a lot of money, but if you look at the fact of what you need on a machine, this is not a beginner's machine. This is definitely somebody who is at that phase, like me, where I call myself a very confident beginner. I don't consider myself to be professional in any way. You're wanting to be able to save time while you're stitching. You've got all these wonderful things here. So you can see this little button here. That's your thread, your threader on there. You've got your cutting. There we go, I'm doing this backwards and side to side. You've got your thread cutter there, your needle up and down, you've got your locking stitch, you've got your reverse stitching, you've got your start, stop. You can increase your speed and decrease your speed as you go. But the best thing about it is you've got this fabulous set over here, your thread, where you've got your normal threading over here, but you've also are able to, while the machine is threaded, let me see if I've got an empty bobbin in here. I think I do, there I do. If you need to then wind a second bobbin, while you are actually sewing, and I'm going to cheat on this one, I'm going to put the thread through the top there. Pop that there. Hold that nice and tight. You've got the bobbin winding button over here. You press that. Oh, sorry, I forgot I have to put my finger over here. There we go. It does come with a spool cap. I just haven't put it on yet. And you can see the speed that this is doing it at. You can then change the speed. It's absolutely brilliant. So you then, while you're sewing, you're winding your bobbin at the same time. And then when you finish it and you've got enough, that's it. You just press the button again. And if you wanted to talk to somebody like I'm talking to you and then go back to winding your bobbin, you press it again and it comes there. So it's a really, really fantastic machine, and there isn't I think the majority of stitches that you could possibly need as a quilter is certainly available here. But don't just trust what I'm saying. Debbie's got this machine, the machine just, this one a few years ago. She's got that one, and she's been making bags for decades, and look at how gorgeous her products are as well. So it's really important to actually just take time, sit down, look at what it is that you need in a machine. Is this the one for you? Because it certainly was the one for for me. And it took me about 3 to 6 weeks to sit down and actually work out which one I wanted, because there is so much variety on the market. We've had the gorgeous Atelier 9, we've got the 680, the 7, but the 720 for me was exactly what I needed. It's got that high speed precision stitching, 1250 stitches per minute. Is that per minute or? Yes, per minute. It's a huge amount of stitching. The speed that it goes through and the accuracy, it's fantastic. And you've got the high precision plate as well that you'll be able to do. We've had a question in. We've a question from Wendy. Good morning, Wendy. As a quilter, what advantages are you getting from this machine as a quilter when you're doing quilting? So I've got a long arm quilting machine, so I normally do most of my long arm quilting on my long arm quilting machine. But you can watch Debbie's video, I think it was the second one, which was on the 26th of March. You'll see that she's actually gone in and done free motion quilting on here, because when you get your feet and everything with it, as a standard, it comes with a free motion embroidery foot, and that comes with a closed toe, an open toe, and I can't remember what this one's called. I think it's a crosshead one. Forgive me, I can't remember off the top of my head. But you've got 3 different options on this. So not only do you have the ability to do speedy work of doing this, you are able to drop your feed dogs and be able to use this as a free motion quilting machine, and you've then got the tutorials on it as well. You will need to make sure that you've got the right stitch plate in, because on this machine you've got 3 different stitch plates as you go, and you'll easily be able to check those back to the manual to see which one you want as well. The machine as well, what's great is, you can see I've taken the plate out at the moment. If I line over here and I pop this plate back in, you will see that my machine has now changed, and over here it's telling me that I need to use that specific foot. And as if by magic, you are going to zoom in and see whether this is the right foot to be using. And you'll see on the screen there, it shows you what foot you're using, and it's even got a picture of it to let you know what you're looking at. And if I'm not mistaken, it's got a code over here, so you'll see it says HP. And if you look at the very top of the foot over there, hopefully I've got that positioned enough, it's got HP written on it as well. So if you are then going to change that to use your free motion embroidery foot, you'll see that where it says HP over there, it will come up with the code there, and I'm reading it backwards, that is QBS. So it's a very easy machine to be able to navigate that way, because it'll tell you what you need to be putting in and what you're doing. Now, you're getting a huge amount with this machine, so not only are you getting the machine, and the reason I haven't done my unboxing is because I want to do it as a proper video, and I'm going to borrow this magazine today, and I'm going to sit and go through it and the manual and check through absolutely everything that I want to be able to do a really nice big unveiling, because it's a nice thing to be able to get. It's a really considered purchase, so I want to make sure that I'm using it to the best of my ability. This is now a wonderful little feature as well, a tile of all the embroidery threads, all the different stitches that you've got on here, all the different buttonholes, and when you're using your professional grade needle plate, which is the HP one that I've got in at the moment, it shows you exactly what you're doing there. But now if you're wanting to store this anywhere, it lives there. That's it. And when you're using it, when you've now got the machine on and you're using it, it goes there. Sorted. Really, really easy. And it's a nice big size as well, because with my first Janome that I got, the tablet that I got was about that big, and I put it somewhere safe in that first week. God, no clue where it is. I've had to go online, take a photograph of somebody selling that exact machine on eBay, just to screen grab exactly what it is that I've got on that. And that's now saved as a favorite on my phone. So that's a top tip, actually. If you take a photograph of this, put it in your phone, save it under your favorites. So if you do put this somewhere safe and can't find it, it's always on your phone, so you know where you are. So not only are you going to get this wonderful manual telling you absolutely every single thing you could possibly need to know about the machine, and you've got all the alphabets and everything on the back as well. Anything goes wrong, it's got all of these wonderful ways of fixing it here. And it's got pictures, it's got words, it's got everything. That's what I loved about it there. But you've also got this fabulous box that holds all of your accessories. You've got 3 different stitch plates with the machine, and these then, I'm putting that the wrong way around, they go there. they rest like that, and then all your larger feet go underneath it, and then your more current feet that you'll be using more often, these then slot, oops, if I take the ankle off, these slot in over here like this. And you can just see that you can put them all in different ways that you go on. Debbie covers all of these feet in great detail on the 21st and on the 26th of March. So go back and have a look at that. So that's a wonderful little box of accessories that you get with it. You've got the wonderful knee lifter as well. But the thing that got me as well, which I thought was such a great accessory to be getting as free, is this wonderful table. The extension tables normally, if you've got to buy them separately, well, I can tell you the one, my £300 machine, when I wanted to buy the extension table, it was £89. And I was like, what? That's a quarter of the sewing machine. You're mad. I'll suffer through it without having one. And we all do that because that's a lot of money comparatively. This comes with it. It's included in that price, which is really, really good on that. And then on top of that, you've got a set of easy bobbins with a lovely little bobbin case as well. You've got that as well. Now, Elna bobbins are slightly different. And I would suggest only using Elna bobbins with your machine. The reason being is that the Elna bobbins do have a slightly different height, and every machine is slightly different. So I always say to you, whatever you're doing bobbin-wise, make sure you're using the bobbins that are required for your machine, because that can cause a problem. Then the great thing about this is, just like the 1600 that I've already got, this is the same cover that I've got for my 1600, and it's a nice soft cover, and it goes over the top of it as well very comfortably. I've got too many things up and about, so you get this lovely cover. And I have to say that I'm going to use this as the inside when I do make a cover for a sewing machine as well, because you want to personalise it and make it just for you. And you're also getting this fabulous foot controller as well. I'm going to grab my foot controller now. But what I love about this foot controller, there is a little white little cover for it, which I've put somewhere safe. So what you do is, when you're doing the foot cover, the wire folds up in here. I love it. I'm just hearing now, Jane Brogan says that one of the biggest phone calls that they get regarding the foot pedal is that they haven't sent the cable along with the foot pedal. So normally this comes with a little white cover over here for it, and I think if by magic it's going to appear, it is. Thank you. So that then slots like that, and that's what your foot pedal looks like. And I'm sorry, I absolutely adore a really large foot pedal, because my feet, I never sew with shoes on. I've always got my foot going around and using the toes, a bit like an African monkey, just grabbing it and pulling it along. And I do that with this all the time, with a bigger foot. With a smaller foot pedal, you grab it and then it starts running, and you're like, oh, you've got to bend down and do everything. Less steps. I like less steps. This is fabulous. So when you get your machine, all you're going to do is you're going to undo that little flap there, and you're going to unwind this foot pedal here, the cable here as well. And the great thing with this is, I like a foot pedal that does one thing. I like the fact that this is just, I'm going to push it, it's going to sew. I'm not going to push the left-hand pedal in and the foot's going to come up, or press the right-hand pedal and it's going to cut. I don't like it, it's too complicated. But what's so great about this foot pedal as well, you've got two different positions. Oh, I'm just hearing now, which is very exciting, and I'm going to have to check the manual as to how to do this. You've got two different positions on this. You can have an extra high foot pedal on this, as well as the standard foot pedal at this height. Go and check the manual on that, how to do it. So you've got two different heights on your foot pedal as well. So it's really, they've thought of absolutely everything you could possibly need. And don't forget, you've got that 2-year warranty, and Janome are fantastic with their warranties. You can extend that. Just contact Janome to make it a 5-year warranty. I can't remember how much that is, but you can go through and do that very, very easily. And I know it's a considered purchase. It is a large sum of money, but it is a really, really good deal. That's 1600 I bought. That one is 8 years old, and you know, that's 8 years of doing it. It's going to last me at least another 8 years, because you've got this wonderful cast iron base. It's a really, really solid machine. It's not got plastic in it. You can see this gorgeous light that you've got on here as well. That's all LEDs. So when I put my hand on that, that's not hot. So this machine will last for years and years because it's got that solid metal industrial build with it, because you've got that technology for an industrial machine on a domestic machine, and you're able to go at those incredible speeds. And you've also got a really large throat here as well. So if you are quilting at home, you're easily able to put the quilt in on here. You can quilt around with this very, very comfortably without any issue whatsoever. And my top tip when you're moving it is put your arm through there and lift your arm and rotate it. So that is the easiest way of being able to move the machine and do it nice and easily. And there we go. That is the Elna, sorry, not Janome, 720 Pro, and that is the new addition to my little thing of sewing machines. I can't remember if it's 39 or 40 with the sewing machine now. We're going to call it around 40, and I'll just buy another featherweight in case it's not the 40. Andrew, stop watching. So there we go. You've got and it's such a beautiful box to store all your accessories in as well. You've got the Elna up there. Now, actually, yesterday we had a call in for somebody to wish them a happy birthday. What was the lady's name? Ruth. And her husband ended up getting her one of these for her birthday as well. You're in great company there, Ruth. Aren't our hubbies lovely? They're really good. Congratulations. Hope you enjoy your machine. Now, don't forget as well, if you do purchase this today, or whenever you do purchase it, it is going to come to you directly through Elna. So you'll still pay the $3.95 postage and packaging. Unfortunately, with the situation we're in at the moment with Corona and all that and social distancing, they are coming through to you as quickly as they can possibly do. Mine took a week. And yours should take, they're saying, between 7 and 10 days to come through to you. It just depends on sorting officers in your area and in their area just getting through things to you as quickly as they can. But it is only a week to get to you, 10 days at most, and it comes directly to you from Elna. And if you do purchase it, I wish you all the many, many hours of happiness with it. I know I've got many hours ahead of me with such joy, and I cannot wait. Wonderful. We're going to leave all of this here just because I can't stop staring at it. And I just love the fact you get this extension table as well. I can't even fit it on the desk. Can I put it on? I'm going to put it behind me here. If anybody wants to see the extension table again, I can happily bring it to you. It's just there. We've had such a great hour. We've got our Aurifil. I haven't played with my Aurifil for ages. So there we go. I'm going to put my Aurifil back here. Right, so what have we got now? Yes. Right, so talking about my favourite things in the entire universe with regards to quilting, this is my favourite tool that I have in my studio. I absolutely, wholeheartedly adore this product. I use it every single day. I cut, the other day I think I did 9 hours solidly cutting it, and I tell you my shoulder would have killed me if I'd been using a rotary cutter, but it just keeps going and keep going and keep going. The great thing is I've shown this a few times before, so I'll just show you again. You're just literally pressing it down to be able to get the rotary cutter to be activated. If I turn it like that, you can see as I push it down, the blade touches the mat, and you can then just cut however you wish to go. On each of these, you have got this wonderful stopping mechanism, so as I get to there, no matter how aggressively I push against there, because we all sometimes get a bit cross while we're cutting, that ain't going anywhere because it's part of the actual end of the roulette. So that is a really nice, safe way of doing it. You've got one on the other end as well, so you can see it going towards there. This plastic is a really robust, and you're easily able to cut very, very accurate pieces. You've got a normal 6.5 by 24.5 inch ruler. This is 6.5 this way here, so if you're wanting to do a 6-inch border, you line the end of your fabric up here, and you cut down here absolutely easily, no problem at all. Otherwise, you can do a 2.5-inch strip for your binding. You pop the fabric up, line it up to that line there, and you cut along the way as well. With myself, what I do find when I am cutting for long periods, I have got a very bad back, and I do have slip discs in my neck as well, so repeatedly cutting doesn't do me any good. So what's really great is I have found, and I don't recommend you use this, do what's safe for you. This is what works for me. I do find that even if I'm at the point that my arm or my wrist are killing me, I can activate the blade by pushing down, and I can push like that. But don't do that if you're not comfortable. Just make sure you know the product, know how you're using it, and you have got these non-stop things on either side so you won't come off the edge. Changing the blade is really, really simple. You're just doing exactly like a normal rotary cutter. I'm not going to change the whole blade. You just take that screw off. Oh, it's coming off together. Oh, the blades come with it. Of course it has. Ah, careful. You knew that was going to happen, didn't you? So there we go. I've dropped everything and broken everything. So there we go. You're just changing the blade that way. All you do is you pop the blade out and you put that back on when you've got the blade. Make sure you put it on the right way round. Ask me how I know. And then putting it back on, you're just doing that, keeping it nice and firm, and you pop the nut back on as well. And the great thing is the guard is always coming off with it as well. 9 times out of 10, it comes off with it. I was hoping this was the one time it would stay on. And then when you're activating it, you can see as I push that down, the blade activates. If you are going to travel with this, because I try not to take mine out of the studio, I would say make sure you keep the box. The box is fantastic to travel with, because if this does accidentally get pushed down, it's not going to damage your car, it's not going to damage your sewing bag, it's not going to damage anything. It'll be within the product, within the box as well. So it's a really, really great way of saving your wrists, saving your elbows, saving your shoulders. It's a really great product, and it is a considered purchase as well, but I've been using mine for about 3 years now and it's still going strong. I think the only damage I have had with it is I dropped it on the floor one day and I have a crack in the handle. That's it, and it's still going perfectly strong. The readings are absolutely fine, nothing is worn out on it. All I've changed on it is the blade. Really great product, that. What? And then we've got these. Now, I grew up knowing that these were not to be touched. These are fabric scissors. They are absolutely gorgeous, and they have been around for decades, because I had them in my home in South Africa back in the 80s. These scissors are so robust, and they're still going strong, I'm sure. They are such a lovely, lovely, lovely pair of scissors. Fiskars have been going for hundreds of years as a company, and they keep buying companies that are able to go and expand their intellectual property, make the products that they do make and engineer improved. So they keep buying different engineering ideas and techniques, and the scissors are no different. These scissors are absolutely brilliant. They are so sharp, incredibly, incredibly robust, and they have lasted, well, as I said, one's been in my family for about 40 years, and you can just tell that it's just such a beautiful feel to it. Really good if you're trimming threads, really good as a nice small little pair of scissors to take with you if you're traveling or going anywhere for a sewing day, and you can just tell it's a really lovely, lovely pair of scissors, and they are so durable and they last for years, and they're really, really comfortable to hold, and my thumb fits in it as well, because as you know, I've got slightly larger thumbs than most people. It's just really comfortable to use as well. Really, really lovely product, that. So that's that. What have we got next? The which one? Oh, I've never seen this before. I'm very excited. Can I use this? Oh, goody. Right, so I am now being very, very excitable. Can I use this pair of scissors? Right, so I'm not left-handed, but this is a left-handed pair of scissors. If you want a left-handed pair of scissors, check out our website. We've got left-handed pair of scissors. Now, I've not used this before, so give me 2 seconds to read the instructions. Easy sharpening scissors for right-handed people. I'm not going to use a left-handed pair of scissors. Do we have... Nope. Oh, here they are. Sorry. I'm going to use my Fiskars pair of scissors with my Fiskars sharpener. So do I just put this in and run it out? Oh, there we go. Oh my goodness, that's glorious. Right, I've never used it, but I'm in love with it. This is a sharpening, easy sharpening scissors for right-handed people. Make sure you're using right-handed scissors, not left-handed scissors like I was about to. So Fiskars are fantastic with their engineering on this, and what they're doing here is, as we all know, our scissors do dull and they go blunt after a few years, or somebody uses them for a pair of paper. So look, you can just put the pair of scissors through. So if I do that, and all you do is you can just, it's got that sharpening stone in the middle, and all you're doing is, just as you would normally cut a piece of paper or fabric and everything, you can see the glint over here. So you've got the stones just over here. I wonder if the overhead will pick it up better. Oh, I know. Hang on. Oh. Oh gosh, I got loads of messages. Sorry. I was trying to make that easier. My phone's off. How are there messages? Sorry. Now I can't turn the light off. There we go. So what I was just trying to show you there was the, you've got a sharpening stone in there that you can actually see the glint of it. And as you run the blade over it, it then sharpens your scissors. And you can do them from either way. Oh, no. So you can put them in from here and it just sharpens your scissors as you go. Oh, you can see that that's definitely working. You're not having to action. I don't know how many you're meant to do, but that does sound. Oh gosh, and you can see you've got the, you can see the iron filings having come off my finger there. I would not suggest doing what I just did. Of course, I'm very enthusiastic and that's how you lose your finger. But it is a really lovely product that is really good to sharpen your scissors, and we all need to sharpen our scissors more and more. This is available today for $16.99. Comes in this wonderful little presentation box, and what a fabulous product. And Fiskars, you know, they've been doing scissors for hundreds of years. They know exactly what they're talking about, and that is a really lovely product, that. They've been going since 1649, so that's 351 years, 352 years. I think they can say they know scissors, don't you? Really great product, that. Love that. So we've now got our fabulous pivoting rotary cutter here. So what I'm going to show you first is how you open this. So over here you can see you've got this lovely little orange device. Now, do not open this scissors like this. I'm doing this just to show you how to open it. You can see that you push down on that and it opens your blade. And to close it, you are pushing down to close it that way as well. And you can hear that click when you've connected. And there we go. So when you're opening the blade, you're doing that. And when you're closing it, you're doing that. Then when you've got it open and you're ready to use it, you've got 4 different ways you can hold this. The first, and remember this is a 45mm blade, exactly the same as normal. You can replace it with another 45mm blade, any one you choose. Fiskars is recommended. So when you're trying to use it, you've got this method here where you're holding the root when you're going like that. So you're just going in a straight line like that, absolutely fine. Then, if you want to change direction, you push that little lever in and you rotate this. So I'm going to rotate it that way first, and you'll see the little orange button has come up. So now you can push the rotary cutter blade that way towards you, but you've got it in an angle, so the pressure isn't quite as great on your hand as it was when you were doing it in a different way. Then if you push this little lever down again, and you rotate it, and you just keep rotating it until it clicks out, you've then got that ability to push the blade away from you doing that. Again, it changes the way you hold your rotary cutter, and it doesn't put as much pressure on your wrist as it did before. So we all know that the more you cut, the more pressure it puts onto your wrists and onto your arms, and you just want to protect these and make sure that they work for you. So you'd need to then make sure that you're opening your blade before you do it. You would then cut, and of course you know my ruling, these are never left open. You then close it that way and go from there. So that's the way you would use it there. So that's the third one. Now if I push that in and I rotate it around and wait, you can see that's clicked in. I've now got that ability to go that way as well. So you've got 4 different positions. So you've got that one there, that one there, that one there, and then last but not least, that one there. You've got 4 different positions. Now this is left and right-handed as far as I'm aware. It's because it goes on either side. You might, I think if you're left-handed, you rotate the blade around. I'm not 100% sure, forgive me, I'm not left-handed, so I'm not 100% sure how you do that. Just double check the website on how you do that. But it's a lovely, lovely pivoting rotary cutter, that. 45mm on the blade, easily changeable as well. And just such a really lovely product. And it's a lovely one to hold as well. Very, very comfortable to hold. We can indeed. Now, many of you have seen me use the June Taylor cut and press many, many times. Oh! And I absolutely love it. This one is a really great product because you've got the option of having the cutting board here. So you can do the cutting board. You can use this as a normal cut, whatever you need. This cutting board is 18 inches that way and 12 inches across. You've got your 60-degree line, you've got your 45-degree line, another 45-degree line, and obviously this is 60 degrees coming from there, but coming from here, this side is 30-degree line here. But from this side, that's 60 degrees. So you've got all the lines on that you could possibly need for a cutting board. You've got this really lovely handle as well that you can then carry that with you wherever you want to go, and it works like a little mini handbag. And you can then have the ironing board. So you can then just use this as a normal ironing board as well. Also, you've got your measurements from 0 to 18, and you've got from 1 to 12 there as well. So you've got all of that. And if you want to make sure that your angles are correct, you've got the same angles as you do on the cutting board on the other side. You can pin onto this and block things as well. So if you've got a bit of crochet, you can pin the crochet there, and you can pin the crochet here and there and there and there, and blast your steam on it to make sure that you're getting it to the right size that you want it to be. So if you're looking to do a 10-inch square of crochet, you would then pin that on from the 10-inch to the 10-inch. And once you've done that, you then steam it, leave it like that until it's fully blocked, and you're very easily then able to come back afterwards and it's completely done. So this is a multifunctional product on the back. Not only have you got the ironing board function of it, but you can also press all your crochet, knitting, and all the bits that you need to block as well. And this is great because this canvas has been pre-shrunk already. So where it says 10 inches there and there, that is going to be 10 inches all through the life of the product as well. So you'll easily be able to do that. So that is the Quilter's Cut and Press 2. And you can see it's a really nice handy handle to carry around with you as well. And carrying it to, if you're going out to do things, it's a really great thing. Cool. It's not here. So we're going to now do some of the most fantastic squares that Creative Grids do. We've got quite a few of the products here. So the squares are certainly one of the most used items that we have with Creative Grids. I'm just looking because we have a 20 by 20 one. So, can't find the 20 by 20, so forgive me if you do want the very big one. It is on our website. We just put it somewhere really safe. It's probably up on a board somewhere, or I'm looking at it right now and can't see it for looking. So that was, we have got the 20 by 20. That one is the most amazing ruler you can get. It's fantastic, huge. This one is 12.5 by 12.5. Now, like all Creative Grids rulers, this side of the ruler is completely smooth. So that's got no non-slip grip dots on it at all. But if you flip it round, you can see you've got those non-slip grip dots. Every single one of Creative Grids rulers have got that wonderful technology. So if I put the shiny side down with no grip dot slippage on it, you can see that that ruler does move around quite easily. But if I now activate this side, which has got the non-slip grip dots on it, you can see that it's a lot more difficult to move your ruler around than it was when it's got on the other side. So it's a really great technology to be able to make sure that you're getting that added extra bit of safety for it. You've got the QR code just there, so if you wanted to zap the QR code, you would easily be able to then get all of the videos available for this ruler, showing you exactly how it is that the ruler is best used. You'll see over here you've got the central line, which is a 45-degree line. You'll see that whenever I'm squaring up half square triangles, I always line my seam up with this line to be able to make sure I'm getting the most accurate half square triangle. And when I've lined the seam up, I then cut this side and that side, and then I rotate my ruler to line the other side up over here of the half square triangle, and then I cut that side and that side, and then I know that I've got the most accurate half square triangle that I can get. This one is 12.5 inches by 12.5 inches, and that's available for $23.99 today. This is definitely the best one. 8 by 8 or 6 by 6? And then we've got the 6 by 6 as well, so this one's just a little bit smaller, more easy to go in your bag, much more easy to carry around with you than the 12 by 12. And you can see again, you've got that slippy, oh, what am I saying? The flat, no dots on this side. That's what I mean. You can see it's completely, and you've got the dots on that side there. So you can see again, you've got that technology where you'll get the dots not being able to move your ruler on it as well. Majority of quilters do have the 6x6 in their portfolio, simply because it is the most common size to use. Again, you've got the QR code there. So if you need some help on how to use the ruler, that's a nice way of doing it. You've got that central line, 45-degree line going down here. Really, really easy to use to be able to line up for half square triangles, and then any triangle less than 6.5 inches, you can easily square that up really nicely. Really, really lovely ruler there, available for $14.99 today. The standard quilting ruler that most of us have and have used is the 6.5 inch by 24.5 inch rectangular Creative Grids ruler. Again, you've got that wonderful technology where you've got the grip dots on the other side. This side has no grip dots, but if I rotate that round and I can find a light, there you go. You can see you've got that non-slip grip technology, not only on the edges over here, but also on the dots over here. It just means your ruler is that extra little bit safe when you're trying to use it. It's not going to slip around with you as well. This has got all of the measurements that you would possibly need. You've obviously got the whole numbers over here. So you've got numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got those as standard there, so those are the ones you would expect. Then you've got the half lines there, which are the white lines in the middle. But equally, if I put my hand under there, you'll be able to see that's your half line there. But just above it, you'll see that the half line is that larger black line, while the line next to it, those are your 1/8 of an inches. So that's going to be 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, and 7/8 going along the ruler. So these goes down to 1/8 lines, which is all you will need. Anything less than that, you will not need. And that's the Creative Grids most popular 24.5 by 6.5 inch ruler. So I never used Creative Grids before I came, and now I have an unhealthy amount of Creative Grids in my studio. Certainly. I'm just going to have to put this up here because it's stopping my quilt falling down. Please stay. So, as you can tell, we use anything possible to make sure that things don't fall down. This is a really, really lovely, heavyweight, good quality rose gold millwood scissor set. You've got the 21.5 inch pair of scissors over here. You've got a 9.5 inch pair of scissors here. You've got a lovely thimble over there, which is also in rose gold. And you've got this wonderful collection of pins, also with a rose gold head as well. Really, really wonderful combination of products. This really great. I love the feel of these and the sound that they make when you're cutting through them. They are absolutely brilliant. Really stunning as a gift. I don't know anybody in the sewing community who wouldn't want to get one of these. They are just beautiful, lovely to look at, really, really functional, and just such a great, great product. These are available today for $19.99, and you can find those on our website. Yes, of course. So we've got wonderful wadding today. We've now got our Hobbs Heirloom wadding. This is 80 by 20. We've got 45 inches by 60 inches available here. So it's 80% cotton, 20% polyester, and you've got that size there of 45 by 60 degree, 45 inches by 60 inches. It's a really nice big size, this. So the Victoria Carrington quilt that we did the other day, that was 44 inches by 60. So this was a really good size piece of wadding to be able to use for that product as well. And it's just such a great size to have. So any project you're doing, whether you're doing placemats or whether you're doing anything like that, these are really, really handy to have. This is available today for £10.99. Don't forget you've got the 1-day P&P all day, so it doesn't matter how many products you purchase. If you check out 3 or 4 times during the day, you're only paying 1 postage and packaging, $3.95 throughout the day. And this is the most wonderful 80/20 product that you can get. It's a Hobbs Heirloom Premium Cotton Batting. And we've also got, also by Hobbs, we've got the Poly Down. This is a really lovely polyester fabric. polyester wadding. Again, 45 inches by 60. This is now for $8.99. And my friend Angie, she's been quilting for many, many years. She only ever uses the polyester wadding simply because she feels she gets a much better finish with her quilting with having the polyester, because it does give you that nice little puff of wadding underneath your stitching, and it does give you that wonderful 3D effect when you're doing the quilting on it. It's a really good size, 60 by 45 inches, so most crib quilts that you make with that would be available to be able to done in this. It's a really, really lovely product, that. $8.99 for that one. So I'm very excited that we have got our wonderful Aurifil today. I'm just checking which one we opened earlier. I think that was it. Hopefully it's this one. Yes, so these are 100% exclusive to us today, brand new on the show today. You can tell we've got the most fantastic collection of colours here. There are 10 different colours available. All of them are 200 metres in each spool, 50 weight cotton, 100% cotton available. The 10 colours you're getting are, I'm starting the bottom where my finger is there, the light beige, then we've got the turquoise, then going further across we've got the violet, we've got the light blue violet, we've got green, then starting up here again we've got the fuchsia, we've got the dark carmine red, the midnight, the mist, and then the black. And you can see it is such a beautiful, beautiful colour combination there. As you can see it reflecting on the light, it is so shiny and beautiful. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous quality product there, and such a great price. $33.99 there for 10 200 metre spools of 50 weight, 100% cotton Aurifil thread. Anybody who's used Aurifil before knows what great quality you're getting, especially with your piecing. You're not going to have lint on your machine as well. It will help extend the life of your machine too. It's just such a wonderful product there, completely and utterly exclusive to Sewing Street. And if you don't want to use it for piecing, it's really, really good for dense quilting, really good for hand quilting as well, because that thread is just so lovely to handle and to work with. It's just such a great, great product. And this is available today for the first time. I'm so excited to be able to launch it for you today. Lovely, lovely product there. So yesterday, if anybody was able to join us yesterday, you would have seen the fabulous Susie Johns. We have got her accessories book as an exclusive for 1 week ahead of everybody else. This is only available to us. You can't get this anywhere else other than with us. This wonderful Fat Quarter accessories book written by Susie Johns. If you didn't watch the show yesterday, you can catch up on our YouTube channel. She did a lovely little demo of a really sweet piece of jewellery there. Really lovely to be able to go back and see this. And this is such a fabulous book. She's got some really wonderful products in here to be able to do using with fat quarters. Everybody loves a good lanyard as well. Nice good recipe. Nice good pattern here, easily able to use. And I love that. You've got an earbud purse. Gosh, that's very clever. I didn't see that yesterday. So it's a really nice, thoughtful, very relative product to be able to make with the book as well. And you've got all these different options. I loved the way that she'd taken a very simple wooden bracelet and then covered it with this beautiful fabric, doing it just covering it like that and then stitching it together to hold it in place as a wrapped bangle. I thought that was very thoughtful. And then I love this Valentine's brooch as well. Really, really sweet. There was a wonderful one as a medal. She had a medal in here, which I thought was very sweet as well. And a head wrap is very cute as well, because we've all got lovely bits of fabric that we want to do something special with. I like that rolled necklace as well, because you could use scraps for that. And then this tasseled patchwork scarf was very sweet as well, with these little ends on the end there, which is very thoughtfully done. Really, really clever. And you've got the scalloped edged collar, which was on... I saw somebody in it. Where was it? Oh, I don't know. Now I've lost it. Of course, when you're looking for something, you can't find it. But that scalloped work... Where was it? Oh, well, it's gone now. Somebody was wearing it in one of the pictures, was wearing it as a collar, and it's a really lovely book, this. That's available now for $12.99, and it's completely exclusive to us for a whole week. You can't get this anywhere else other than from us for a whole week. So that's one of the lovely things about Sewing Street, is we're able to bring you these wonderful products for a whole week without anybody else getting them. So what have we got on tomorrow? So tomorrow we've got, it's Debbie in tomorrow, isn't it? Debbie, we've got the lovely Debbie. She's got bag making and then a Liberty Square patch quilt with Sally Ann Harrison. And then light and sewing room gadgets. Oh, I'm really jealous. Oh, because I've seen the product outside and they're gorgeous. So tomorrow you really want to tune in. We've got some amazing products coming up tomorrow. So before we run off, I've got our fabulous early bird product here. We've got 167 different pieces in this product. Really, really amazing. All different pieces in here. These are available for $16.99. You're saving £3 on this today. And everything you could possibly want in your sewing box is available to you here. You've got all the threads with matching bobbins. You've got a tape measure, loads of elastic and unpicker, and then just a whole conglomeration of different products in here as well, going from safety pins to yarn, to bits of Velcro, to a needle threader, to clasps, to needles. Last time we had it as an early bird, it sold out, so I'm not surprised that it's been selling so well this morning. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful product, so do make sure you check that out. If you did want to see more of this, we had this on our hour at 8 o'clock, so do make sure you watch back on YouTube later in the day. You'll be able to see all the bits and bobs in the box. It's such a great deal, though, so don't miss out on that. So next, you're going to have, I'm so sorry, another hour of me. This will be the repeat of yesterday's show. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I can't thank you all enough for your time. It's a really, really nice thing to be able to share with you. And I'm next on Monday, where we are launching another book. And I am beyond excited. You need to tune in on Monday. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek, even though I'm probably not allowed to. Where have I put them? Oh, there we go. I'm not going to say a word. I'm going to simply show the fabric. And I'm not even going to say a word. You all know who she is. You all know who she is. I'm saying nothing more. You want to tune in on Monday. See you all soon. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.